Music matters. What were you saying, Pert?
Do you think that on late night talk shows, when they're taking a sip out of those precarious black mugs, like what's in there? What are they doing? Do you think you get an option, or is it just like cold water? Because I was just thinking, we're kind of fooling. We're drinking out of mugs right now, but this water is cold.
Yeah, but to be fair,
it was hot.
It was hot.
There was
a
time,
and it's also freezing in here.
There was a
so
time.
I feel like if it wasn't so cold in here, like the water would have remained hot.
Probably.
Also, like, do you think it depends on the talk show? Like, I feel like on Conan they might get lit. Like maybe Conan they put a little like Jack in there.
Is that who you'd say is most likely to turn it up?
Is he the bigger one? The carpool karaoke guy?
James Corden?
Oh, Corden.
Nah, James Corden, you're like drinking like whole
Tea.
milk. Oh. I'd say like,
whole milk's crazy.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't trust that guy. I feel like.
What do you think Fallon has it?
I was just gonna say
promethazine.
Styrofoam. I don't know. I think Fallon, like, you probably got a couple options. You could probably get like Swiss Miss.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you wanted some like Simply, like he would get it. Somebody's doing that.
What do you think he drinks? Like, cause I could see a case for like black coffee, but
Jimmy
he's like
Fallon
annoying
drink?
about it. Like, I could see him drinking black coffee and like really
so bad.
and like really making a point out of it. Like he's all like, yeah, like I'll take my shit like straight up. I don't want any cream, no sugar.
Oh, what does Jimmy Fallon drink? Yeah, you hit it on black coffee. It's either that or like he's drinking coffee that has like so much creamer. Like, it's not even coffee.
Yeah, like
his shit is cold. Yeah. Like when he's drinking it, he just wants a splash. Jimmy Fallon drinks those like glass Starbucks like.
Or imagine if he drinks black coffee, but every time he drinks it, he goes like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Conan's probably got to be the most lit though. They're definitely like splitting some whiskey or something like that.
I feel like I know so much about all the talk, like the late night talk show hosts, but I've never watched a single episode of an actual late night talk show.
You never had a face?
No.
I was definitely like going like. There was a time I was like checking for the new Ellens. Like, I just skimmed through them, you know, if I knew any people of interest. Like,
what about Ellen abusing her employees?
Let's not talk about it. Let's just like remember a good thing.
Let's like brush past it.
Yeah, we don't need it. I mean, no, yeah, it's tragic. But they're still airing her stuff.
Is she canceled? No. She's fine, right?
Is anybody ever canceled? For how long? You know?
I mean, if you're that famous, you know, I can't really do much.
I'm conflicted. I think Ellen's probably not a good person.
Why?
Well, because like if everybody's saying that, right? The whole reason she got canceled, right?
Yeah.
But, dude, she was hooking it up like every December for like we're talking like 12 years.
Yeah.
Giving away like yo, Ellen would pull up and be like, all right, everybody's getting a fucking whip on December 3rd. Like it's 20 days till Christmas, but like we're turning up, and she did that for a ton. So like. She's got to be kind of cool, you know?
Bro,
and she's in Finding Nemo. So.
I just thought about this. How crazy would it be if she was giving away like she's giving away cars to people who go to her shows, but like all of her employees are paid like minimum wage.
I could see it. I could see it. What's Ellen giving you to drink?
Bro, she definitely has like red wine in there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
At like 3 p.m.
I was going to tell you to really think about it, but you're so right. That has to be exactly what it is.
What about Trevor Noah?
Oh, there's a really funny joke to be made here.
I feel like he's
like
kombucha
or something.
You know, I can see that. Kombucha or just like scotch on the rocks.
Whoa, you think?
Yeah, but he also goes like when he drinks it.
He's not giving me like enough musk for like shit on the rocks. You know?
I could see kombucha too.
I need like I could see like David Letterman's doing something on the rocks.
I don't remember what David Letterman even like looks like.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Hold
As
up,
a journalist?
Yeah, I don't.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, but definitely not my era of like oh.
He's getting older now.
Oh, he's like OG.
Yeah, as fuck. But he's dope. But I feel like I'm uneducated enough on him that I could say he's dope, and then somebody could be like, no, David Letterman's a piece of shit, and like everybody knows it.
He looks like a journalist though.
You think?
Do you think the rest of them call themselves journalists? I guess I don't know enough about like what they're actually doing to call them journalists.
They're just like hosts. They're just like TV hosts. They're not journaling shit.
Dude, I feel like when I first started this, like I was so like determined. Like that was like my thing. Like I wanted to do like real journalism, and I was just talking to Clay about this the other day with like the scene analysis stuff I'm doing for Live 2, plus like the episodes we've had Music Matters recently on Above the Bridge. I feel like more of a journalist than like ever. And
Do you
it's like,
consider yourself a journalist right now?
that's the strange thing. It's like I feel like I really resonated with that term at the beginning, and then I feel like I kind of fell out of it. But now I think I'm embracing it more, because like that is really what I want to do. Because like I've always just said telling stories, but like telling stories is what journalism is, you know.
How would you? Because my next question was how would you define like journalism or yeah.
I think it's more like diving into things. I have a friend Finley who recently put me on to like all the old Vice documentaries.
Yeah,
I've been going through those.
Fucking
insane.
so fly. Yeah, so fly. Or even just like, I don't know, not that it's a lost art, but maybe an underappreciated one. Like even some of those like video docs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that are just like 10
100%.
minutes long on like some random niche ass subject. You know what I mean? Like it's dope. But I also think that like genre is fairly broad. Like fucking I was just telling these dudes, but I was like I've been watching Crazy No Reservations recently.
What's that?
With Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And like he's a journalist for sure, but he's
100%.
also he's a chef and like, you know, a writer and whatever. I guess a writer and journalist can be synonymous, but yeah, dude, like that's just such a far left side of that category. You know, it just like the spectrum is so wide that like you're also definitely a journalist. I feel like, you know what I mean? Because you're diving into things like the scene analysis video in the Bay alone is like a crazy example of some fire ass journalism.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, that's fire.
It fuels me, I think, way more than a lot of other terms. And then again, you know, defining yourself is one thing, and it's not the biggest deal in the world. But I think like embodying like your favorite person in a genre of whatever that genre is, whether it's music, movie, whatever, or just art or documentation in general, I think that is like where the term gets powerful. Like I've been very inspired by the Vice shit lately. I think what Andrew Callahan has been doing recently is insane. Yeah, just things like that.
Dude, the homie was just putting me on. I don't know this girl's name, and it would take way too long for like way not enough of a payoff to like for me to look for it. But essentially, like it's this woman, and she like just gets into the thick of it, bro. Like she's like talking to the one episode I watched was like on LSD, and she like basically is tracking down like. She starts just so broad, like she doesn't really know shit about it, looks into it, you know what I mean, and fucking does her journaling, whatever. And then like by the end of it basically gets to like this fucking, the dude who's like, the chemist who's like actually doing it. And the whole episode she's talking about how like there's really only like 8 of them in the world type shit.
That make LSD?
Yeah, like the very top of the people who are like starting the process of the chemicals, you know what I mean? There's like the actual like chemists, like fucking 90 whatever percent of it comes from like these like certain people who are like at the top of the food chain, like very high priorities you would assume on whoever's job that is to fucking like get their ass, you know what I mean? But she does it in the span of like one episode, and fucking 20 minutes later she's just like, now I'm going to talk to the chemist. Like it's just like I don't know, bro. It's so fascinating like what one person can do in comparison to like like I don't know for sure, but you would assume that's like a large organization's job to like be looking for these dudes, you know what I mean? And like just one person who fucking is passionate about it and just hits the right licks like can figure that shit out. It's crazy.
That's why the Andrew Callahan stuff's so insane to me, dude.
That's
what
inspired that thought.
Yeah, there's like him, and then there's like it's like one or two other dudes, but like it is insane to me. Like he just uploaded this video today. I haven't watched it yet. It was like a couple hours ago, but he like I watched the first 5 minutes of it. He literally hopped the border. Just to like figure out like he's doing research on like, you know, the border crest or whatever, but he just like wanted to like, and to me that is like that matters. Like people who are actually willing to like go through the motions and like find like the root cause of these issues and like explore them to that extent.
Am I bugging, or did he start off like fairly like it was almost silly, like satirical, right? It
was incredibly satirical.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He was wearing the suit all the time, and is he still wearing the suit?
He is.
That's great.
But it's dude. So it's his.
But he's tackling like real fucking.
His pipeline was insane. Like so in the very beginning, he did this channel called All Gas No Brakes, which I'm sure you've heard of. That's like how he got on. And then he did that for years, and that was essentially him going to like Miami spring break or like you know, like he went to like a flat earth convention.
Yeah,
or like,
that's right. I've seen that. Yeah,
like funny shit like that.
Oh God,
like but like he would go and like not like. I think what was cool about that though is like he would go, and the way he would go about it is like these people were the joke, but he wasn't making them the joke really. Like he was letting them speak, and like it almost was like. He just rode that line incredibly well, where it was like these people are like you're simultaneously laughing at them, but you're trying to understand them.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're almost like questioning like how did you get to that conclusion?
Do you feel like everything deserves to be like observed and then like you know what I mean, like given to, because there's like you know that dude who like goes around on like Skid Row and he's like just interviewing people who are down bad, bro. Like, oh,
you mean Software Underbelly?
Yes,
Mark Lydia.
Yes, dude. And I was watching this thing and like,
I think he's a genius.
Yeah. There's definitely a certain level of genius to it, but something about it, I was just like, damn, like, I couldn't like draw the line whether like, there's a certain like responsibility for somebody to, you know, like shed light on that and like gain awareness for it versus, like you said, just something about it just morally is like, he just gets to go home. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, it's not like he's supposed to help everybody. What the fuck is he supposed to do? But like, I don't know, something about it just like, I don't know. What do you think?
So like, there's that side of it, and like, it's interesting, right? Because like, I see him, and I think that's the good side of it. Actually, there's this guy in San Francisco that I wish I could remember his name right now. It's escaping me, but he's this guy who essentially he got famous from like recording videos of homeless people that were unfortunately like addicted to substances, like, you know, like doing what they do and like, you know, on
their fucking groove on,
you know, like on the street doing drugs or whatever. Yeah. And he was like taking videos of these poor people that like were obviously homeless and obviously in crisis, and like recording them and like selling them to Fox News, and like he was
just like Nightcrawler.
Yes, wow. exactly Nightcrawler. But like his whole thing too was like he was selling them, but then he was going on the Fox News programs and like talking about these people, whatever. Yeah. And
getting hell clout from it.
Yeah, and his background's interesting. Like he was a coke dealer who went to jail and was like on coke.
What's this guy's name? Matthew?
I can't remember. It's Kyle actually. Dave. No,
Stephen.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But anyway, what'd you say? Yeah, do you find it? What was his name?
Mario's fucking pro.
You're on it. Yeah, I'm gonna know it. What was it? Anyway, though, but yeah, so he like, this guy's whole thing is he goes and like records these homeless people, and I think his side of it, like he almost tries to take this moral high ground, but the moral high ground he takes is silly because he's like recording these people. What is it? Richie Wynn.
It had to be Richie. Matthew and Richie hang out for sure. Like often. I might as well have said Richie.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, it's like Richie Wynn 415, which is like the SF area code.
Shit.
But yeah, so he like records these people, sells these videos, whatever. But he takes like this really weird moral high ground where like he calls himself like a San Francisco purist, and like he's doing this for the good of the city, but like he's essentially embarrassing these people when obviously they're in a time of crisis and need. I'm not saying San Francisco's perfect, obviously, like, and no one says that, but it seems to me that he's doing more harm than good. Yeah. And it's interesting. Whereas the Mark Latia guy, and I think why I like him in the same way that I think Andrew Callahan does as well, is he is like really just talking to these people and hearing them out and just listening.
Word.
Like that to me is everything. I talk about that's like the whole inspiration behind this, what we're doing right now. Like I want to give people a platform to tell their stories, but also like listen. Like no one listens, dude. It's like we all just think we're entitled to some piece of information and we know everything, and we go into these conversations with like predisposed opinions instead of like sitting there and listening and then coming to our conclusion, you know?
Right. It's tough because there's so many like layers of that. There's so many like layers of bias to like peel back, and there's like very obvious ones, and then there's like, I don't know, there's this other things that are so like subconscious that like influence the way that we navigate conversations. You know, that you could like drive yourself crazy just being like, fuck, like how do I view this like as objectively as possible? You know what I mean? But I think the answer to that is just like listening to the best of your ability, you know what I mean, and gathering everything as much as you can. But it's a trip, bro. Life is weird like that because there really is like no I mean, sometimes there is, I feel like, morally, but like there really is no like objective truth to shit.
No.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, I guess just like adding fuel to your point of just like the best you can do is just really just fucking sit and try to soak up as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like what social anxiety is. Like having a conversation and those voices in your head where you're questioning like how the conversation feels, what they're thinking of you, how you're perceived. Like I feel like it's hard to boil down, of course, but like if you could boil down social anxiety to a couple things, I think like one of the biggest like underlying factors is just the fact that like you are sitting there and not present. Yeah, it's like a fear of what is the future, you know?
Do you feel like you deal with that a lot?
I think, yeah, I think I do. I think I didn't pre-COVID, which is very interesting. And I think, like, isolation did, I think, like, emphasize a lot of those thoughts for me. And and it's strange. It comes and goes. I think I do deal with it, and I think it's something you have to like focus on working out of. Yeah. Like I think you have to fight it. I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm not saying. Of course, it's so real and so valid, but you have to fight it to a certain extent, and there's a million ways to do that. But I think the challenge is finding the healthy ways. Do you think you struggle with that at all?
I definitely did, like, growing up a lot, and then I feel like I got out like in a time where I really didn't at all, and I was just fucking chefing, bro. Like, just like probably, I don't know, like my senior year and like the couple years after that, like I really enjoy talking to people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I love talking to people at any capacity, and we talk about it all the time, but like it's just like it's so much more fun to operate on that frequency, you know what I mean? Like of just like checking out at the cash register and like asking the cashier what the fuck is good.
So
like
agree. Yeah.
What have you been on? Like fucking what time do you get off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are your plans and shit? And like it's not like you're trying to just kick it or be everyone's bestest fucking friend, but like what's the alternative? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just, hey, how you doing? Good. All right, man, take care. Like,
yeah.
What a fucking boring way to live. Like, add a splash of color, bro.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I feel like I kind of lost that a little bit for like a bunch of different reasons this past year, a little bit, and just really like kind of retreated into my shell. But since the start of this year, bro, like it's just something about it. But like everything just feels so good, and like I really feel like I found that spark again to just. I don't know, bro. Your brain plays so many tricks on you, and like again, not that like social anxiety isn't real, because like it is, and then it's when it's happening, it's very hard to like see it any other way, you know. But your brain is essentially telling you that like what you're doing is better than 100%. Just actually like acting on it. You know what I mean? Moving towards it and getting rejected and just moving forward. But like the reality is like if you whatever the rejection could be, whatever the fucking stakes are. I don't know if you're trying to get a little bitty's number, bro, or like you're just talking to somebody in some position that like you want to be fucking linked up, whatever the case is. It's like just standing there, you're gonna not only regret that shit but just feel so much worse about yourself the whole time. Like that's such a nasty feeling to harbor, of just being like, oh fuck, like kind of just stand there holding your dick and you're just like, oh god, like if only, and like the only thing between those two things is literally just, okay, boom, like we're out of here. Whether it's even like a countdown of literally just be like in your 3, 2, 1.
That's
hey,
a good
yo,
practice,
what's up? Like the second it starts, the hardest part is literally just like, hey, yo. After that, like it's written. You know what I mean? Things flow so much more naturally, and like again, if nothing comes of it, like you're at the exact same spot you were before. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's strange. So, anyways, I just say all that to say that like I feel like I've been much better at. I feel it like creeping into it. I feel me like kind of slipping into it, and then just like pulling myself away from that and observing like myself, just being like, what, like why is this feeling happening? What am I feeling about? Oh, like getting insecure about this, like are those things actually like a real concern? You know what I mean? Like I'm insecure about this outfit.
Like leveling.
30 minutes ago I was fucking with this outfit.
You
know what I mean? So like I know this shit is like, so then just kind of walking through those steps, I guess. But more to that point, just I don't know, bro, just not being so fucking captivated by fear. That's what it all comes down to. It's
like looking at those situations from an objective point of view instead of like the incredibly biased point of view that is your brain.
Yeah, right.
That's it's exactly like talking about one thing I tell myself all the time is like whenever I get anxious at a party or like whatever it is,
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm so unprofessional, bro. I'm sorry. But like whenever I get anxious at a party or like whatever it is. That was crazy, yo.
Yo, whenever you get anxious at a party, I'm sorry.
On some booyah shit.
What happened?
No, it's kidding. There was like a friend I had on the podcast who kept doing that as a joke. It was a little funny.
Keep going. I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't derail.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. It's like looking at it from like an objective point of view. One thing I tell myself all the time when I get in those situations is like, Dante, like no one gives a fuck about you right now. No one's looking at you. Right. No one's thinking about you. Yeah. And it's so easy to feel like, because you're right? It's like you get anxious based on like your first person point of view. It's like you feel like everyone's perceiving you. You feel like everyone's looking at you. But it's like, dude, everyone is in their head. Everybody's in their head.
Right.
They're thinking about themselves and how they're perceived. And it's like, if you can just find some way, whatever it is, like a mental practice or even like a countdown, like you were saying, to break through that barrier and get to a place where you can be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, I'm talking to this person.
Right, yeah. Just to like throw yourself into shit, bro. Like, I don't know. so much, like I'm a broken record with this shit, but I feel like every choice that anybody like makes that you have in this life boils down to like being made out of love or out of fear, and like that's the shit out of
Interesting.
at the end of
Explain
the day.
that. What do you?
No, I'm okay. I think like, bro, it's
You're
just
funny.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, come on, Twin.
I think it's just I think when I say that to people, a lot of times they take it like very literally and think fear is like being scared, you know what I mean, or like having that actual like fright like inside of you, and it's not. I think they're much more like broad than that, and maybe even like symbolic in a way of like love or fear, in the sense of, give me a scenario.
I'm at that Belladonna show the other day, and there's someone on the other side of the room that I sort of know but don't really.
Sure, right.
Like,
Okay.
sort of know but don't really know,
Right.
and I'm like, I don't know if I should say hi or not.
Right. And so like,
This happens to me like once a week, to be honest with you.
With that, like, I would say the way that like applies is you would move out of like love of like not only yourself but just the situation. You know that like there's a lot of like-minded individuals there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people you want to like interact with. Like moving out of fear would mean to like embody fear with the way that you're standing and the energy that you're giving off. You know what I mean? And so like you're standing in the corner, just like your shoulders are kind of hunched. That's a fearful like stance. You know? And that's a fearful like position to take in the world of just kind of like retreating and you know what I mean? Like just taking that kind of like flight stance to whatever like the situation is. And so I feel like it's a lot more generic than just the basic like fear and love emotions. But with anything, like say this tour, like the UK thing, initially I turned it down because I just like was fearful that like the music wouldn't be received how I wanted it to, like with his fan base, you know what I mean, whatever, and just went to bed and like woke up the next morning on some like, yo, out of the fucking love of like just performing and traveling and all that, why would I turn down that opportunity? You know what I mean? But so many people just like let their compass be headed by
loud,
just being like fearful as fuck, dude. Like, and it is like, it's a present ass thing. And I think the world is like the society that we live in, not to get too however with it, but it is built on like fear. You know what I mean? It is built on these incredibly like negative things and like, I don't know, like the devil, so to speak, you know what I mean? Like the pop culture and shit like that. And again, not devil in like the physical representation of it, but the fearful, like it's all that same energy, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is like the comment sections on anything. Everything is so negative. The news, bro. Like, when was the last time you saw a fucking fire story on the news? It's like, fucking, well, like,
this cat got saved from a tree.
So he's dead, but like in 10 minutes, here's the craziest fucking car accident you've ever seen. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And in turn, I think that's just with how much stimulus we're being given, like, it's just making everybody so negative and so like, So anyways, that was a long-winded thought, but
it's interesting, like, because I've heard you say that before, and I perceived it entirely differently. How I perceived it was like the idea of operating out of fear versus love. It's interesting, like I kind of thought you meant like when you approach a situation, the forefronting like compass at which you're looking at that situation through is one of being scared, so you're assuming the worst of people rather than the best of people.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think it could still be like applied in that way for sure, but yeah, dude, fuck.
I mean, because I think it is easy to do that. Like, I think if you live, because that's actually really true. Because like, if you live your entire life out of fear, right, and you think the worst possible thing will always happen opposed to the best possible thing, that I think that's also like truly living life in fear opposed to love.
Of course.
And that shuts you down from everything.
Dude, there's no point in seeing the glass like half empty. It's so crazy. Like, it'll only lead you to a fucking half empty glass. Every time. Another one I really like is two of them. I think to encompass that whole kind of thing you were just talking about. Just like, what if it went better than you could have ever imagined?
Yeah, the tatty, right?
Yeah. But like, that's so sick. Wow. That's just such a cool fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and when you view it through that lens and you go into it, that mentality, 90% of the time it turns out better than like you could have imagined. And then you just wasted sometimes days like just ideating about like how terrible this could be, you know what I mean? And I don't know, the thing I've really been trying to move with this year is just like honoring your gifts, like honoring your gift type shit. And that's cool too, because that can be applied in so many different ways. And so that can be with like honor, like the obvious thing is obviously like the music and stuff, honoring that gift, you know, and making sure that I'm spending time like honing that craft and really like putting the effort into it that the people who support it like deserve to be given. But also just honoring like the more I don't even know, the gift of being capable and just being strong and like being able to do all of these things. And so like honoring the gift by, you know, making sure you're exercising your body and moving it, and just honoring that gift that you've been giving, and even just like displaying gratitude is honoring the gift of just being alive, period. So I don't know, it's all like they're all under the same canopy. Like all those sayings are just like around that kind of optimistic approach, and it's just so like it's such a more liberating way to look at things. I
have a friend named Xanabis. He hosted
That's not true.
I do.
That's
Xanabis.
So crazy.
It's
that's
Xanabis.
So sick.
Well, that's his rap name.
Yeah, that's an insane name.
Also, this is gonna be a side tangent before I tell you.
Flowed like I have a friend named. You just ripped that shit.
Well, I'm gonna go on this tangent before I explain to you what I was gonna say. Please. But guess what his name means.
What his name means?
Yeah, if you had to guess.
What's his name?
Xanabis. Xanubus.
I don't even want to disrespect him. I have no idea. I have absolutely no.
Most people come to the conclusion that that's a mix of Xanax and cannabis.
Sure, but, I guess that's where I was going.
But this is the crazy part. So his name is Xanabis because I'm telling a story, and I feel like I've told it a bunch of times. And
Rip it. I'm here. I want it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a whole video on Brother Rich channel. I'm telling it. I don't want to hear it actually. No, but his name comes from. He's Egyptian. He has Egyptian heritage, and he overdosed when he was in high school on Xanax. And the Egyptian god of afterlife is Anubis, so he was brought back to life because he literally his heart stopped beating, and they were able to like resuscitate him. So his rap name is the thing that killed him, Xanax, and the thing that he thinks brought him back to life, Anubis, the Egyptian god of the afterlife.
Wow,
which is insane.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, though,
that's a hefty load.
Yeah, it's pause. Holy shit! I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy though. Yeah, that's not.
You and him, I think. Yeah, I feel you guys are very alike. I think you guys get along.
Dope. Up to me.
But where's it going with that? Oh yeah. So
nice. I'm so happy you found it.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Fucking.
Yeah. I was like, where'd it go?
Is that Galifianakis?
Yeah, it's between two birds.
Keep going, dude. Don't even talk to me about that
funny.
shit. Keep going.
But he always says a very similar thing. He always says like, live in your gift, or you'll forget that you even have it.
Fire.
Which I think is very, very, very true.
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying, because it's like, dude, like we so often forget that, like, and it's so easy to forget as like a privileged American that like lives in like a first world country, you know.
Yeah,
but like it's so easy to forget like just how lucky we are. Yeah. Like we're lucky for like so many reasons, right? Like we're lucky to even be alive. Like we won the sperm race, you know. Like we're dogs, but like even past that, like we live like in a country and like we you know that's like relatively safe. Like we have clothes on our back, we have food to eat. Like crazy. That's like not a large percentage of the world. And like I feel like to disregard that and forget that is like really throwing away like that gift, because it is a gift, you know.
I was just talking to Zay about it, and like you talk with like your buddies all the time about just whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, just these insane like horrific circumstances that are happening to people like around, you know, just like these wild injustices, and it's so hard to like fathom that that's like somebody's actual reality. And I think that's how a lot of people like cope with it, and almost like that's why they end up turning a blind eye to it, unfortunately. It's just because it's so hard to like actually believe that that's happening to some of these people around the world. And just more to your point, bro, like it's so crazy. Our circumstance is so incredibly wild that like it's not, bro, this garage, dude, like all this shit is just insane. We're sipping tea like leisurely. We'll probably go grub after this every now and again, lucky, because we grow up fat, bro. Like we grow up stupid, and we'll be out like eating somewhere, dude, and fucking I'll just like we eat whatever we want, bro, like 7 days a week. That's what I mean. It's wild, bro. It's wild. I'm peaking, but crazy.
Yeah, it really, really, really is like a gift, man. Like it's so easy to forget too. Okay, music. So 30 minutes in. Bro, so
I love it.
So coming out of this, because one more chapter and then you're done, right? Your storybook life's over, right?
Damn.
Right?
Yeah. TBD.
Yeah, you trying to figure it out?
Yeah, bro. I'm still like in love with it, you know. It's like I'm not ready to like necessarily like let it go, and it's so much fun. Like, and I love. It's such a digestible like bit of music, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
4 songs, like it's just everybody has time for that. Like if you've heard the tunes before, like I just, especially now, bro, and I'm a victim of it too, but like I have a hard time consuming 12, 15 songs at once. You know what I mean? I'm good for like,
my bad, I just kicked you.
You're good, baby. I'm good for like 6 or maybe 7 before like I'm really not hearing the tunes how I should be, you know what I mean? So like I have to take those breaks and like remind myself of that. But the 4 song, just that consistently, like as a consumer from like some of my favorite people, that's so fire.
Yeah, I
like
feel
if
it.
I knew I was getting it like consistently, you know what I mean? And so like excuse me, but yeah, dude, like I'm still having so much fun with it. In my head initially it was going to be 12 like at the beginning of this year, and we were going to do one every month, and then just some of the circumstance of the year like just led some things to being pushed back, rah. So in my head 12 still feels good because like 9 is a slapper, and I'm so excited like to be putting music back out again, because this is the longest we've gone, like it having an interim like between projects. So this shit just, oh dude, it's so fucking revitalizing. Like it's awesome, dude. It feels so good. Like life is so good when new tunes are coming out. But the project after this is kind of like technically would be the last one, and some of the best like songs I've ever made, but also just like the subject matter of them isn't necessarily something that like I'm like, all right, that's it, like you know what I mean? I'm like, that's the end of the storybook life, like fucking you know what I mean? So I think I owe it, you know, that grand finale of like having those, at least those last couple, like coming into this and really just giving it everything. But regardless, bro, like I'm so in love with putting out music, because I'm just I mean, at the end of the day, like we're just conduits for it, you know what I mean? Like I've again, honoring the gift, like I've been given like a pretty cool gift that I've spent a lot of time like crafting and making, like as I was just telling them, bro, fucking don't let me forget that tangent, but I was just telling them it's so fire because I really feel like I'm in like when I hear like myself back now, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely me, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Where, like I'm like, that's cool, like that feels good. Like
do you know what about it?
I think just being comfortable I'm totally gonna forget that tangent, so we'll just leave that, right? I'll come back. I'm just like, if I'm gonna put out more of the tapes, but but
we'll go back.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a show of tangents. It's the beauty of it. Yeah.
But I was just talking to the homie.
I'm gonna write it down.
Please do. Please do. I'll give you time.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, remind me of the tangent I was just on before that.
It was you were just talking to them about something, about your sound.
Yes, and like feeling good, and you were asking like what particularly it was, and then I was saying, there we go, there's just too many branches. I was talking to the homie Jack about it because he's like getting into making tunes and whatnot.
Hell yeah.
And I think the most important thing is everybody like wants to focus on the songwriting and making it just as elite as possible, you know what I mean? And I think the number one thing to focus on is just being comfortable on a microphone, to where you can just like get on the microphone and do that every time, because that's the feeling. You can have the craziest bars, but if it's not like lining up, you know what I mean? And everybody has a character arc with that till they like really feel comfortable to like be getting on the, it's a craft, you know what I mean? It's something that deserves the 10,000 hours, but I really just feel like super solid in that. And
it feels like, sir, not to cut you off,
No,
but it feels like the key to be able to put that 10,000 hours in, because I think like if you're not comfortable on the mic, that'll lead you to not recording, and not recording or not practicing.
Yeah, they're all like byproducts of each other.
Exactly.
And people like almost try to focus. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's really no escape to just doing it. Like at the end of the day, you can say whatever's the most important, but at the end of the day, they are like all synonymous. Yeah. But to that point, like, it's just, I've been having a lot of fucking fun, like with just making music recently, and feeling like it's just, not that I ever necessarily, I mean, now looking back, that stuff is bad, but not that I ever cut a song that was like, this is terrible in the moment, but recently just like being so confident, and like when I sit down that like something of worth to me is going to come of this, you know what I mean? And so I think where I was going with that whole thing is just that we are the conduits of it. I'm not necessarily the one who gets to decide like what's going to take off and what's going to do well, and so I might as well just put out everything, you know what I mean, as long as it's of quality. Like there's a base level, there's a barrier to entry for sure of like, you know, you don't want to focus on the quantity and then lose the quality, obviously, but if you're able to just crank out like that much stuff, might as well just give everything and just see what sticks, and then the fans just appreciate that much more too, because if they're genuine ass fans, like they'll take fucking anything, they love it, you know what I mean? It's the dopest shit to them. And so just going with that to say that whatever comes after this, it'll still be like, I'm in love with just consistently putting out music, because like what else are we doing? It's like a waste of time to not, you know what I mean? And especially for me, like where I'm at, like I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful, and there's a lot of people that that are supporting at a crazy level that like is so fucking bonkers to me, bro. So bonkers.
I saw that group you just put out and how much that's growing.
Dope.
Crazy.
It's been dope. It's been so crazy, bro, that like we're in a place where like that's a real thing, or I can go on like IG
so
Live and people
bro.
like actually want to watch my fucking stupid ass like.
I was in your live the other day when you were opening all the Converse. We forgot to talk about it. It was like 150 people in there.
Yo,
like talking,
for a
engaging.
second, yeah, it was nuts. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that shit was so crazy. But to the opposite of that effect, there's a lot of people who just who haven't heard that shit yet. You know what I mean? And so like,
for sure,
just might as well just fucking. Just give everything, you know, into every little pocket. And that's where I'm kind of, that ties in with like the not playing into fear too, because like I'm just trying to put out as much as I can, as often as I can, and as with like as much of me as I can, you know. And a lot of like, bro, you just get scared sometimes, bro. You be making fucking a video and you put it up and like it's not getting the engagement that you want, and you're like, damn, bro, like fuck, what if the host
so
see
easy
this?
to get
like,
wrapped up in it.
Oh fuck, like I can't, I gotta take this down, like I can't, but like what if so and so sees it or whatever, and or just rewatching something and is that fucking cringy, like fuck, I don't know, and it's just like
cringe is so subjective too.
Fuck it, dude, fuck it, you're not gonna get anywhere like that. It's so paralyzing, and that's just so directly giving into fear. And
how dare you?
Oh, but it's my mom, so
never mind. Shut up, moms.
But yeah, it's just bro. Fuck. That's the most like direct pipeline to fucking fear, for real.
There were two things you just said that I really connected with, and I want to touch on both of them. I was talking to a friend of mine named Kyle, not Xanavis, Kyle, and
glad to know you're inclusive.
Yeah, I know, right? I got friends of all names.
Right.
But Kyle was talking about how like we were talking about promoting your back catalog.
Yeah.
And he said something that really stuck with me. This was yesterday. He said like, if you have a song that has 10 million streams, right? Why the fuck would you stop promoting it once it hits 10 million? There's 7 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, there is no reason to ever take the fuel out of something.
Right.
You can keep promoting things forever, and people can keep circling back, and there's somebody that hasn't heard it.
Right.
And that person may connect with it in an entirely different way, and that could spark whatever. You never know.
Yeah.
So it's like not promoting your back catalog, I think, and like giving up on stuff too, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you truly believe in every single song that you're putting out, you should never give up on them. Like I think somebody who's really good about this is Paco. Paco always talks about like he posts his songs like every day.
Yeah.
And when I interviewed him we should do it again, but like a year ago, he said like, if you really believe in a song, like why would you stop posting it? He was saying like, if you don't even post it, how can you expect somebody else to, you know?
Sure. I definitely fall victim to that a little bit, I think, just because there's so much and I'm like moving so fast that a lot of the times things I think get left behind, you know what I mean? And I think maybe that's just a byproduct of moving like that. But for the independent consumer that like just finds you and then just runs your shit on shuffle, and it's like, whoa, I can have this 50 more times, like I can have this a potential experience like 50 more times, like this is so sick. And especially nowadays it's more like valuable to be that like one-stop shop for people than ever, because if you're not, they'll get it somewhere else.
So many other options.
Right, exactly. And so that's where something cool like the group comes in, for just that like 10% of people who you really are their like one-stop shop. It's like, come fuck with me over here and I'm gonna give you guys everything I can, because like not that the other 90% doesn't matter, but like that 10% is your
make
shit.
or break your career.
Yeah, they're the ones that are listening 15 times a day.
It's the concept of 1,000 true fans.
Yeah, on every level. Exactly, right. Yeah, on every level you're fucking making the most everything from them, you know what I mean? The most longevity, the most just like monetization, everything at every level.
That is like something very interesting that I just thought about what we just said. Like, when the average, and this is actually, I've never thought about this, when the average fan like finds you, I wonder if like, because I think about the conversion all the time, like the conversion from socials to streaming. I think about that all the time, but I guess something I've never thought about is the way in which those conversions consume. Like, do you think like maybe like strictly on a streaming level, right? Like, I wonder if the average person, like all the people who just found, like you probably just got like engaged to your stuff out of the Drop Top Beater snippets. I wonder if like those people went, they looked for that song, didn't see it, and then hit shuffle, or they hit your first song, or they go to an album. Like, I wonder.
Yeah, right. I just deleted music because.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like I have all these EPs go under singles because they're not like classified as like albums, right? So people would go on there and like shuffle the tunes, and my like only albums would be from fucking 3-4 years ago, and it was just music that like I wanted to keep on there for people to be able to track the story arc, but at the same time like fuck, dude, like I could see that definitely turning people off of being like, oh, that first song was dope,
So,
but like
yeah.
you know what I mean? So
That's
I
such
put
a
it
challenge.
up in the group, like it's in
Cool.
Friends for free. Like I didn't want to take it away from the people that really enjoy it, but yeah, that was something that just always kind of like stoked me out a little bit of just, I don't know. So yeah,
That's such a challenge. I
fuck.
I feel like I've talked to a lot of people about that. It's like, do you let that storyline develop? Because obviously, like every artist, like your biggest asset is your story. 100%. Everyone has a story to tell, and that is the biggest aspect of promoting your music. Like it's probably the most important thing.
Right.
So like, does having that old music up add to that story, or is it the fear that like
It
what you were saying?
It definitely
like,
does, because I always want to be that like that beacon for people to see, because like obviously I didn't have this shit for so fucking long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like it's cool for people
Wow.
to be able to track that and be like, oh no, this was terrible. But
Yeah.
off of your initial like proposal, like it just people find these new songs and then it's like I want more, you know, and like I feel like it has such a higher potential to convert if I was to filter out some of the stuff that I felt as though that would like maybe turn some people off. But damn, there's a lot of people that are fucking angry, boy, for sure.
And that's a tough part, because like another thing that you said that was really key, I think, is like if you every single thing that you put out you love, you can't go wrong. Like that is the number one thing. Like you have to love everything you put out.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, like I don't love the shit I made 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I actually hate it.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of just how it works when you're a creative that makes every single day and is always making stuff and always thinking and always trying to improve. It's like you should hate the shit you made 3 years ago. But then the question is, does that mean that everybody will? Or are you just in your head about it?
Yeah, right. Damn. Like hearing your voice on video for the first time.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Wow, that's actually a crazy example.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Damn.
I like, yeah, bro, because there's people that like will make the argument. They're like, that shit's better, and you're like, there's absolutely fucking no way. Like I will slap you for even like that's crazy. That's you just said that like to be like different. You know what I mean? But there's people that really, really fucking enjoy it. And yeah, I don't know. So I always want it to be like a beacon for people to track the story, because it definitely does like add to the story. That's why like I've left it up at some capacity, you know. But I also think just with the frequency that like I do put stuff out, it's like if somebody started at chapter 1 and that was like their first angle, there's a whole year of like a really, really crazy story where a lot of stuff has developed that I'm very proud of.
And I feel you on that though. Like following from the beginning, that is my favorite thing in the world. A good example of this, and it's funny because I don't even really like the stuff he puts out now, but like Anthony Fantano is a funny example of this, because that guy has been putting out music reviews consistently for the past 13 years.
Yeah.
Like literally like every day.
Cool.
Like it's nuts, dude. Like if you go back and it's like, dude, the ones at the beginning like sucked. And it's like, even if you don't like his new stuff, I mean like his stuff's whatever to me, but like it has existed in like a consistent form that he just bet on. Yeah. Like it didn't work for so long, but he just fucking bet on it, bro. I have this really, really, really like distinct memory. I used to work at the spaghetti factory in Concord, California, and I would get off work always, and like, dude, like after I mean, you've served tables, you know this, but like, bro, after like an 8-hour serving shift, you gotta just decompress in your car for a solid 25 minutes before you drive home.
That's
like,
why I started smoking so much. I fucking promise you.
You sit there and just like decompress for like a solid 20 minutes. But I remember one night after doing that, going on my phone,
so greasy.
Oh, it's gross, bro. It's gross. You need like the 20 minutes, like otherwise, you know.
Something about it is nice though.
Oh,
it's nice
so
to
nice.
like. It's nice to like use your body. You know, you're like I fucking like I was cooking today. I was out there. I was doing my thing.
Yeah, but there was one night I remember this so specifically. I don't know why, but I was sitting in front of the restaurant after getting off, and I remember like being particularly uninspired that day. I'm not sure what had happened, but like my daily schedule every day when I worked there was like wake up. This was like right after COVID when I was like kind of in community college. We're like not really doing a lot. So it was like wake up, maybe do some homework, probably not. Think about Above the Bridge for 6 hours. Go to work at 4.
I love how obsessed you are, dude.
Thank you, bro. Ditto, brother.
It's super sick.
Thank you, man. You as well.
And I'm so sorry because I did it. Please don't lose it. Please don't lose it.
No, I won't. You got it.
It's so cool to be like doing this right now, dude. This is so cool.
Thank you
so much for having me.
Dude, thank you, man. I love you, bro. I'm happy we're friends.
Thank you, bro. I love you too. Keep going.
But yeah, so like, But yeah, ditto. You're very inspiring to me as well.
Shut the fuck up.
So like that, whoa, I just clipped. But
yeah, that's what I was like.
cool.
I peeked earlier.
I was like, whoa, yeah. But yeah, so I would get off, and I don't know what it was about this particular day, but I was feeling very uninspired after going through the 6 hours, then going to work, and then getting off. But I usually get off, and I would go through a drive-through convenience store on the way home. There was like
drive-through.
Yeah, there's the only one I've ever seen. It was on Clayton Road in Concord, California. It's
That's
called Quick
next
Stop.
level. Whoa.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
What they have?
It just
diapers and
just normal, you know,
nice.
normal little drugstore stuff.
Cool.
Whatever. But I would go through and I go through the drive-through and I would get 2 Bang Energies. Gross. I'd go home and I'd chug them or shotgun them and I'd work till like 3-4 a.m. I mean, terrible for your health, incredibly unhealthy. I'm not saying that anybody should do that. But my point here is saying I remember one day trying to not do that because I was so like beat from that. It was a particularly difficult day. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to go home and go to bed. And then I remember scrolling through Anthony Fantano's catalog. I don't know why I did it, but I think I just hit like oldest by accident and realizing that he'd been doing it for 13 years. And I was like, I don't even know what this is yet. I remember having that thought so specifically. I was like, dude, like if you believe in something,
that's so cool.
Believe in it wholeheartedly. Stick with it. Like do it every single day until somebody else understands it. Because if you do it every single day for 13 years, you will find what makes it dope. There is like a little bit of dope in everything. I truly believe that. And it's like if you start something and you believe in it, you can get to a place where other people believe in it, you know?
You are spitting. You like, that was crazy. Yeah, there's a little bit of dope in everything. That's cool as fuck.
You know?
Yeah, I never like, bro, all the time people are like, yo, will you listen to this for me? And if I see it, like, you know, and I have a second, I try to, you know what I mean? Because that would have meant the world to me, like, fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm shit. I'm not saying I'm shit at all, but fucking if somebody wants my opinion, fucking that's cool, you know?
For sure.
And I'll listen to stuff, and a lot of it's god awful. So bad. So bad. But I'll never, ever, like, tell somebody objectively, like, yo, like, this just isn't it. Because, like, you never know.
Yeah.
You like it. All it takes is for that person to come in just with that 3% different of a mindset, to just have a different perspective on things that day, to break through, and all of a sudden it's their shit. And fucking all this stuff that's like really, really the illest, like the stuff that takes over like the culture, right? The fucking the like the Kanye level events, all that shit. The just whatever, the people who are pushing things forward. Nobody's fucking with it at first.
No.
Ever. Has there ever been something that genuinely like shifted momentum and how things were, and people like got it at first?
One of my proudest like above the bridge deep cuts was this review I wrote I wrote about Whole Lotta Red, and I wrote it the night it came out. And bro, honestly, like I'm just gonna talk my shit for a second. Like this is probably the best thing I've ever written. I wrote at the end of it, I was like, this album sounds terrible right now, but in 4 years it won't.
Wow.
And I was so right.
Wow.
I gave it like a 6. I was like, I don't like this right now, but I know for a fact in 3 to 4 years I will love it.
That's crazy.
And I was so right. But it's because of the fact that like Cardi, I know we always talk about Cardi, but like Cardi, my son. But Cardi, like, dude, think about like his entire track record, like his entire discography has consistently been making things that people copy. Like, he is the first, like, bro, he made self-titled. Yeah, 100%. He made self-titled. Everybody was on that shit. He made Dilate. Everybody's on that shit. He made a Whole Lotta Red. Everybody was on that shit. It's like, it takes like within like 3 to 4 years, 2 to 3 years, whatever it is. It's so interesting how he's an artist that people have just like gravitated towards and like been heavily inspired by. Like, I think there's artists that like are undeniably great and like always will be and are legendary, but they didn't change the sound of anything. Maybe that's like a testament to how unique they are. I think my favorite example of this is Queen. Like, I think Queen, there aren't a lot of bands that sound like Queen, I don't think. I'd be interested if somebody proved me wrong, but I don't know a lot of bands that sound like Queen. Like, one is like Fun, like the band Fun sounds like Queen, I think, like, in like the theatrics and like the more like that's opera, opera rock, right? Yeah. But like, there aren't a lot of bands that have like that level of like theatrics. So they obviously do sound like Queen. Yeah, right. That's pretty crazy. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. But like, think of another band that does. Right. Yeah. There aren't a lot. I can't really think of any. Yeah, I don't know. But it's like, they're, I think, an example of an artist that like was incredibly like great. Like, you can't deny the greatness, but the influence wasn't there. Cardi, I almost think, is the other way around. Like, I think he's so ahead of the curve that you could argue that like this is objectively like, or, you know, I guess subjectively, but like to a lot of people, like, doesn't sound great in the moment. But then when it's provided with more context and there's things around it that are just so different. Yeah. Like, it becomes hard to not love it.
So
You know,
it's almost like he's putting it out as like a checkpoint for the culture.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, just get there. You know, once you get there, then you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
And I think that can be said about any like creative work that has, you know, like shifted things like that for sure. Nobody's getting it at first.
What do you think was your biggest like creative breakthrough? Like you were talking about, you know, that kid could come into the studio and be 3% different than the day prior and everything could sound different. Do you remember a moment in your career where like something just clicked and things started sounding different?
Yeah, for sure. I made this song. It was called Trippin', and it's like the first song that I left up after deleting all the other stuff because of that. I don't know why that took me so long to fucking conjure up just now. But I was trying to like just like decide like if it was like a voice thing or like a writing thing or whatever. But like as far as like a moment, it was definitely that fucking song.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, it's an indescribable thing because like it's something that flows through you. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason,
like that lightning we all see
showed up that day, bro, and was on the right frequency to be affected by that. And honestly, from then, like most of it is just a confidence thing. Like from then, I was like, oh, what? Like I'm capable of that, you know. And looking back, like the song is still fucks. Like it's cool, but again, just like you said, the further you go, you look back and it's like whatever. But in the moment, dude, it was like, what the fuck? Like that was me. Like that's me doing that right now. And like I went and showed it to them, and they're fucking like are 60% of the reason I'm even still doing this, just because of like our buddy Andrew, bro. He's got this fucking like loft that is his bedroom, and for years it was just like the showroom for like I would cut something, and like whenever I was really proud of something, you know, I would like go and show them, and fucking that would be if it passes like both tests, then it's like, oh, this is dope. And it usually ends up being like dope. There's times like I'll bring over shit, I'm like fucking with it, and like it's not like that I'm not fuck with stuff, but you can gauge it, you can kind of gauge the room, you know. And it was, I like remember going over there again and just being so fucking gassed on it, and just being like, I have no like doubt in my head that they will not like, that they won't also be like fucking so amped about this. And just like kind of hit it with that preface of like, yo, this is like a new tier. Like I won't ever make music like the music I was making before again. And like then just fucking ran it, and like it was so sick, dude. Everybody I think was like, yeah, that was different. And,
do you know what about it? Just the confidence.
Yeah, bro. I like yeah, bro. I don't know how to describe this, bro. Like I just stopped trying so hard. Like I just like you like hear beats and shit like that, or you start going into making a song, and it's like you're trying to be so lyrical, miracle, spiritual, and like you're trying to change the world with every line, and like you don't have anything down. And you're like, yo, this first line has to do it. And it's like sometimes the dopest part doesn't come until, you know, the second bridge or whatever the fuck it is. So like you have to like give yourself the time to see it through. Anyways, it's this feeling that's like associated with music, and I can only like maybe describe it as like a flow state.
Wow.
And like it's just like I like for the first time like achieved a flow state in making music, where it's like if you've ever meditated before, that feeling where you're like really in it, and like there's just no thoughts, and even when you do have them, it's not like they're passing through you, but it's almost like they're passing by you. And it's like you're just sitting there like watching them, and you're not attaching yourself to anything. It's just like you can see these like ideas pass, and when you do that, then you gain access to whatever this fucking ether is of like all these other possibilities, where you can really just like, you know what I mean, you're not so attached to anything. And so that was very like Buddhist way of going about it. But for me, what that looks like physically is literally just sitting down and trying to just clear my head as much as possible, and just not desiring anything from it. And I think that was the first time like I really sat down and was able to get into that flow state, where it was just sitting there, kind of felt it, and when you clear up the space in your head, it allows room for like the truly insane shit that isn't you know. Like sometimes people just try to make it to them. I feel like they're just like trying to like, okay, what I've been going through, what I've been doing, and like sometimes it's just like you gotta let the song write itself. It's
sort of like give, not take.
Yeah, right.
Like give yourself to that room,
right,
and see what comes out of
it. And that goes back to the love fear thing. Yeah, almost. It's like fear in that case would be being too attached to an idea, or too worried if the song wasn't gonna pan out. And moving out of love would be moving out of just knowing that like you were that ill, you know, and that there was gonna be something sick that like comes from it. Anyways, yeah, cut that and fucking we all like went like listened to it was super sick, and then went home, and like the next day I'd been like rejecting TikTok for so long and just like, I don't want to be fucking whatever, and that's before like you had to be like, it was shifting into that for sure.
It's like 2019, 2020.
Yeah, for sure. And it was definitely just like where everybody was still like, fucking, is this the shit? Like, you know what I mean? And there was definitely just a stigma around it still. Again, allowed myself to move out of fear. Crazy. And then just one day was just like, yo, this song's dope and people have to hear it. So like, just wrote up a little script like, yo, fucking along the lines of how everybody was making those videos. Like, what's up? My name's fucking Pertinence. And like, rah, 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 rah. And fucking, oh yeah, this is actually my song playing, like back when like, that was probably a fucking...
That was genius back then.
Yeah, I think you can only make like a 60-second video. I don't think there was like 3 or 10 or whatever it was. But I mean, 40 seconds of dialogue. Like of just, and the shit like that would still sell before people were fucking fried. Like, anyways, dude, put that out. And like, I think it did like 40,000 views, 50,000 views, which is like so sick. But fucking, I mean, in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, for that, bro, like... Dude, I think I had like 200 monthly listeners. And so like then overnight, like I had like 11,000 Instagram followers, and fucking I had like 16,000 TikTok followers. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like, and in my head, I was like, I'm out of here, bro. Like, it's over. It's over. Like, I'm going to post every video and everything's going to fucking go insane. And at that point, bro, that was probably like my 40th song. Like, maybe not, like 30. Like I'd been doing it, bro. I'd really been doing it. I guess just goes to show to not fucking like giving in on that. But point being that when I finally hit that lick, it was just like so much validation, dude. So much. And then I didn't have, nothing went crazy for almost exactly 365 days after that. Like I did probably like 20 views on every video after that. I mean, 80 views, 200 views, like. But that was all I needed, bro. I just needed the taste of just like, yo, like, okay, like word, I did it that time, and like I know it's possible at a larger scale. Just and again, like it's not like the video went crazy or anything, but just seeing like it's like I'd been waiting at this door for so long to this house that like I've only been like fucking standing on bushes to like look in the windows of, you know what I mean, and just trying the back door, all that shit. And for a second, somebody was just like, hey, like, how long have you been waiting out here? Like, just like open the door and just like, how long have you been waiting out here? I'm standing on the front porch. I'm just like fucking looking inside, bro. I'm seeing everything. I'm like, oh shit, go. And they're like, no. But I had seen it, and it confirmed that like, I was like, oh no, my people are in there, like for sure. So yeah, just fucking kept chefing. And then in November of the next year, had something else that like gained traction. And then from there, like things with, I would say that's when I kind of started working with Live 2, and things kind of moved from there. But yeah, dude,
it's like that little ounce.
The most long-winded thing. You're a great listener,
dude. Yeah, thank you. It's like that little ounce of truth.
Yeah,
it's like just knowing it can change everything.
Oh, bro, like even looking back, like I'm able to hold on to it, and like just that feeling, and it's just like somebody sat you down for a second. You're like almost driving yourself manic, you know what I mean? And somebody sits you down, and they're just like, hey, you're not crazy. Dude, like just for a second.
Wow,
like,
that's a crazy way to put it. I know exactly what you mean.
Dude,
holy
shit.
You're
not fucking crazy. Like just keep going. You know what I mean? And at every stage, like I've almost like, there's always again, but we live in a very fear operated, dominated society. Like at every stage, there's been that opportunity to just kind of like, oh, maybe I am crazy. Like fuck, like I don't know. And I feel like I'm getting to a point where like I'm able to really just turn that off. And that's where I was going at the beginning of this whole fucking podcast, where this year is like, I'm really just trying to get good at just going after shit and just not giving into it, because like that's the most rewarding thing always, dude. Fuck.
I know that you read a lot. Have you read the book The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell?
No.
It's like about this concept.
I've heard about Malcolm Gladwell.
He's great. Yeah, he's great.
What's it called? The Tipping Point?
The Tipping Point, yeah.
That's cool.
By the way, I'm almost done with that.
Write that down.
That other book. I'm like,
yeah, please.
40 pages out. I'll probably give it to you this week.
Dope.
Anyway, though, but
The Tipping Point.
Yeah, The Tipping Point. But anyway, yeah, the whole book is like about this concept. Like it literally is just about this idea. And something you just said that just resonated with me so much is the idea that like you understood that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Like
it's tough to tell yourself that, dude.
It's so hard, dude, because like I think there's this thing, and like every delusional believer, there's this thing that like we have this like level of delusional self-belief where it's like, I don't give a shit what anybody else says. Like I know this is me. There's a rapper from in the Bay Area named Lou, and he has this line, or no, it's not a line in the song, but he said it when I interviewed him. He said, I remember the moment, I think about this quote all the time. He said, I remember the moment when I realized I was who I thought I was.
Wow.
And I think about
that's so sick
all the time. But it's so true, dude. It's like we all have this delusional self-belief, and that's what keeps us in it. That's what keeps us in that day-to-day grind, that day-to-day hustle of like every single day throwing shit at the wall, figuring it out every single day. But it's like, you know that it's delusional until it's not. Like when you have that moment, it's so different to like have tons of belief in yourself and then know that people believe in you too.
Right.
Those are so different.
That's so important too, because I think, man, this shit is hard to do without a fucking fire ass crew.
Yeah.
Like without some really solid people around you. I would argue maybe it's almost impossible. Like
I agree.
Without having, because you need that reinforcement, bro. That's what forces people into complacency and into just like giving into the easier option, because it's just like it's just so hard to like reaffirm that to yourself when everything in your reality is presenting to you that you are fucking crazy. So you need other people around you that are there to validate that for you, for sure. It's just about creating that like mastermind, you know. To like achieve anything worthwhile, like it takes two people to join in on it. What book is that from?
That's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, nice. I thought it was Napoleon Hill.
Yeah, that's a fantastic book. But that concept is so real, dude.
Right. Yeah.
It gives creating the mastermind.
Of course,
dude. And do you ever get this? Because I get this, but I'm sure you get it a ton too. Do you ever get, I guess, sad would be the word, or upset when you are looking at people? Maybe they're peers, maybe they're not, and you know that like they have it, but there's just like one or two things that need to be shifted around, worked around, and like they can be like who they want to be. And it's like you can't tell them what they need. They have to figure it out themselves. Like it will not matter. Like you can tell them a million times, but they need to fall and they need to fail. They need to figure it out themselves. But it's like, do you ever get imposter syndrome watching those people, and do you ever think like see yourself in them ever?
I think like my whole shtick has been like built on just being the dude who just like throws shit at the wall, you know. Like I've always just been very, I think, fearless in that. Fortunately, I've always just been like, fuck it, I think this is dope, so like here it is, you know what I mean, and like putting stuff like that out. I also, up until very recently, haven't necessarily like felt like an artist, you know what I mean. Like this is what I do. I've always kind of felt like the guy who did it, but not like, you know what I mean, not like thoroughbred like that. But yeah, bro, there's a couple people that like I've known like that, and fucking it's crazy because you see these people and you spend time around them, and it's like, dude, you are better than me in every facet.
Wow. Like
in every single category, like you could just sweep this shit. You're out of here, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just not what the person necessarily wants, like at that point in life, you know. And I had a buddy like that, like one of my bestest friends in high school, dude, and fucking he was so fucking good, bro, like so good, just so clever, bro, and like he still is. I know he does that, and whatever. Anyways, point being, I just like I would always get so like, I'd be like, fuck, dude, like I would try to find these ways to like convince him of just like, bro, like, yeah, fucking you're incredible, like fucking, and he knew he was good at it, but it just wasn't what he wanted. You know what I mean?
Which is
like,
so okay.
Yeah, at that point. And so like he was able to go and do different things to like have, you know, some certain self-discovery. But I just, there's also a lane of that where it is what you want, like deep down, and you just tell yourself, like, I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying others, you know, it is, you know, it's what you want deep down, but you're just too afraid to ask for it, and too afraid to like, I don't know if it's just a fear of looking silly, maybe to like give everything into it, or I don't even know if it's that, like, humans just have this intrinsic need, everybody, and this is what I can relate to. But we have this like built-in programming to like stunt our own growth. We like want to like be our own biggest contradiction for some reason. Like, I don't know what that is, but like our greatest fear is like not that we're inadequate, but that like we're powerful beyond measure. Yeah, whatever that shit is. But yeah, bro, it's literally like on some shit like that where it's just like, damn, like, what if I was everything that I thought I could be? How fucking scary would that be? You know, like all those things that come with that. So anyways, just to like, I guess, bring that back a little bit, like, yeah, man, I know some talented fucking people that like I really hope just fucking throw everything they have at, because I know they would do it in a quarter of the time it took me. You know what I mean? Like a quarter of the time. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
There's a Jim Carrey quote where it's him like he's doing this graduation speech.
I know exactly what you're gonna say, but please still say it.
Yeah, and he's talking about asking the universe for things.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. Like when he says like, how can you expect to get the things that you want if you're never even brave enough to ask the universe for them?
Right.
And that is so true.
And I think in that same speech, he talks about his dad.
Yes.
Who like gave into it, basically, like had dreams of being a comedian. He wanted to go out and do that. That was his thing. Yeah. And then as you know, life bestowed him with more and more responsibility, XYZ circumstance, like, which is another thing. It's really easy to speak 100%. Ignorantly from like this standpoint with like not being given any crazy circumstances from life, because that makes shit really hard. But basically talks about his dad, and his dad ended up giving into just, you know, security, so to speak. And
God, what is the quote? It's at the tip of my tongue. He says it's like, if you never find what you don't want, you'll never. Fuck.
Oh, rip it! Come on.
It's on the tip of my. I have it written on my quotes folder.
People should call you D'Angelo sometimes. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why. Thank you, bro.
D'Angelo is like one of the best artists of all time. So you can quote me on that.
D'Angelo be tight.
I have this written down. It's gonna kill me. I'm sorry. I totally cut you off.
No, you're okay. Literally, just to finish that thought though. Basically, his dad gave into it, and I think became like a mailroom worker or something of that variety. And ended up getting laid off, dude, like after like 20 years, and was in the exact same position that he would have been if he just chased it anyways. But now he had missed like 20 years of really going after it, you know?
Dude, I have this written down. I know it. Give me a second. Be afraid what you don't want. It's gonna kill me.
How do you light this? You got a gorilla lighter?
What's up?
You got a gorilla lighter?
Yeah, I got a long one.
A gorilla brush.
Damn.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can find it.
Wait till you see it.
I feel bad. I feel bad for like looking for this, but I really, really want to find it.
No, it's okay. Take your time. I'm gonna.
If you never what you don't want, why? This is gonna kill me, bro. I feel bad. Just like I'm literally just like, but I need to get this.
Some people are so creative.
God, this is gonna kill me.
Do you want to get matching tattoos?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm honestly down.
All right.
Come on, bro.
What should it be?
I can't find it. Whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't find it. I totally just killed that.
It's okay.
Thought
No, it's okay. I finished it. I'm okay. That's literally just where I was going with it. It's just people a lot of the time get really comfortable and just think that they're not like worthy of asking for more. And I feel like I've gotten really good at just asking for more all the time. And maybe one day that'll bite me in the ass a little bit. I honestly I think I have a fairly healthy view on things, just in terms of like, I don't know. I think I just want to like in terms of money and stuff, in terms like asking for more all the time. Yeah. I just want enough money so that I can get past the idea of money. So like I don't have to think about money anymore. And then I think I'm solid. But at the same time, like, I don't know, because I already feel it a little bit where I gotta like chill, because my whole life I have fucking worn Chucks. Like, oh bro, I love this shit. It's my shit. And I've just been like, whoa, how cool would that be if I could get a couple free like pairs? You know what I mean? Now, dude, like I have more pairs than like I know what to do with. And like even that a little bit has like it doesn't feel as like magical as it did the first time.
Interesting.
You know, like the first time I got, I went out the first time, I got 2 pairs. Like I remember getting 1 pair and then I like finessed the second pair. And like I had the second pair, I was like, I'm so up right now. Like this is so stupid. Like I robbed them clean. Like I just licked the Converse store. Like this is nuts. Like this is nuts. I'm up. Like, and then I mean that feeling too. The first time that like they sent me like a box of shoes, like a couple different boxes of shoes, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how to like slow the fuck down in that aspect, and that's why I think it bites me in the ass a little bit, because I'm always so on go mode. And I do consider myself to be fairly present and definitely so grateful. I like exercise like showing gratitude, but the present like is so fucking fickle, dude. It's so short, you know what I mean? And then it's over, and then things just become your new normal. So like that's something I'm working on a little bit right now, just being like, bro, this is so dope. Like, this is so dope. You can't allow yourself to be just like, let that tide kind of wash over, you know? And they help me out a lot with that, bro. A lot of the times, like, fucking something will happen and it'll be sick. And I get really excited for it. And they're always the first people that, like, I want to go and tell because fucking they're my family, you know what I mean? And then, like, they're just really cool about, like, taking the time to really be like, no, bro, like, that is so sick. And there's been a lot of people in my life that I've allowed to, like, play very important positions in my life that don't reflect that for me. And that aren't, like, very excited about things that I'm excited about. And for whatever reason that's coming from, like, it's just nice to have all the mirrors reflecting, like, out of a place, again, of love. Like, it's so sick. And so I think that's what helps me a lot, I think. But I could focus more on just being like, bro, this is so fucking crazy. This is, like, don't just look past this, you know? I
relate to what you're saying a lot. I had it's very easy to get, like, when you achieve new levels and new heights and new things, it becomes the new normal. Yeah, which is a blessing and a curse. But, like, the other day, bro, I remember I was just like, I just finished working in here. I walked outside. I sat in that chair in the backyard, and I just sat there for, like, a solid 30 minutes before I went to bed, just sitting there thinking. And I remember, like, having this is like last week. I had a very clear thought. I was just like, dude, like, I am paying my bills off the company I started in a movie theater. I'm the luckiest fucking person in the world.
Yeah, how cool.
Like, my life is fucking amazing. Like, I get to, like, literally, like, I get to do this every day. I get to work for another company I love every single day. Like, that's how we met. Like, it's just, like, like, my life is so beautiful. And it's, like, that is a gift. Like, that's what you're saying. Like, it's a gift. And it's, like, if I stop appreciating that, it's so fickle. It can go so fast because most people don't have it.
Yeah,
most people never get.
And there's no guarantee of, like, you know, how it'll come. Like, I always find myself just being like, yo, everything else is extra. Like, past 100%. This point, like, I didn't work last year. Everything past this is extra. Yeah. And that's not to say to not be ambitious, you know, and again, keep asking for more. Always ask for more, but just, again, because it can get taken away, bro. There's a lot of these people who are, you know, they have shit and then they're in their 40s and now they have to go back to work. They got to work a regular job, and that's a very real thing for people. And
I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, me too. It's my biggest fear, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But again, just more to the point of just, like, make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But understand that, like, it does to people. So just be grateful for every day that you're not in that position. But boy, how fucking fun is it to just treat this shit like a sandbox and just be like, I see the look in some people's faces, like, oh shit, sorry, handsome boy.
You're good, baby.
Dude, that was dope. But dude, I see the look, like, in some, like, mostly family members' eyes, like, fucking, not, like, really close family members. Even sometimes, like, I say it and, like, I see it in their eyes, the way they respond. Especially, like, when I was back for Christmas, I was like, they were just talking about what's coming in the new year, and I was
so what are you up to, Colin? I'm a rapper.
I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna shoot like a Converse campaign this year. I'm gonna shoot like a campaign, and, like, I'm gonna be, like, in their stores. They're gonna put up, like, pictures of me in their shoes, like, in the store. That's one thing that I'm gonna do this year. Like, and there's no reason for me to think that that's gonna happen. I mean, outside of, you know, like, loving Converse and rah rah rah. But, like, you say that, and these people are just like, oh, like, okay, like, sure, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, God damn, what a shitty way to live. Like, just never asking for more. Not even knocking on life's door to just be like, hey, like, do you have any fucking sugar or what? Like, never once, dude. Just always keeping your head down and just being that guy in the corner, slump shoulders, moving out of fear, all that. Like, yo, it's crazy. So, like, why not just talk so wild, bro? Fucking Ad Astra, bro, to the stars. Like, if you fuck up, like, at least like, set the bar so high that the mediocre of that bar, you know what I mean, is still
amazing,
more incredible than you could ever fathom. Because, like, why ask for anything else? What are we doing here? Yeah, we're gonna die.
What's the point?
What else are you doing? Like,
this is like such a silly example of this, and I promise I don't usually be arguing with people in IG comments, but I think I've done it like 3 or 4 times the past week for whatever reason. I never do it. I never do it.
I'm a victim.
But, like, and I never do it on my own posts, only with other people's posts.
Of course, yeah, where it's hidden enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
Let me tell you this, that'll make you, like, never argue with somebody again. Imagine like a chick that you just started talking to, or, like, that you were really fucking with, and she's, like, just scrolling through Instagram, and she's following you now, and she sees that interaction.
Fuck you,
it's
idiot.
Just such a low energy, like, it's just like, what? Like, even if I did, bro, if I saw you chirping something, I'm like, Dante, like, dude, like, come on, twin. You're better. Yeah, keep going, though. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that helps me a lot, because I'm like, damn, what if, like, the homies just saw me randomly chirping at somebody?
Because they could, dude. Could have it.
Right.
Like, I'm witty, bro. My responses get hella
They're
likes.
nice.
Like,
Yeah. Okay, nice. You're sharp as fucking cheddar, boy.
Appreciate you, twin.
Yeah.
But Andrew posted this. I don't know if you saw that thing that Andrew posted the other day where he's making the sweatshirts. He had
Our
like
homie Andrew.
Yeah. Shout out Andrew. But he was like trying to make money, and he had like a rent meter like on the thing, and he's hilarious. But I commented something in the video Andrew posted or whatever, and I saw some dude in the comments, and he was like, "Damn, bro, you got to get a real job." And then Andrew's so fucking funny. Andrew responded like, "Are you hiring?" And then I almost never but like it hit me that this dude said this. I was like, "Bro, shut the fuck up! Like you don't know this person." But I was just like, I think I asked him. I was like, "Do you like your job?" And then I think he responded. He was like, "It's my job. Do I have to like it?" And I stopped.
Ball game.
I was like,
you gotta respond. Yeah,
dude. I didn't respond.
Yeah,
because like that's so sad. Like that it like made me upset. Like I was like, damn, bro, like I wish the best for this person. Like I don't know this person.
Full circle interaction.
Yeah, very full circle.
Like completely just showed you why he said anything in the first place. Like
100%.
Yeah.
But it's like I thought so much about the way he responded, because of course it's a silly Instagram comment, whatever. But like I was just like, this dude genuinely believes that there is no way to enjoy your job.
Mm-hmm.
That's
crazy, right?
Tragic.
I mean, that's a generational like teaching, though.
Oh my God,
that gets passed on. Like, and it used to be that's the truth, and a lot of people would fight you tooth and nail that like, no, like it's your like societal obligation to show
Hate
up
your life.
and function and help society function.
That's insane to me, bro. Like the idea that you should, that is mental to me. Like the idea that you should hate your life 40 hours a week is crazy.
Yeah,
insane.
Some people find fulfillment in providing.
That's totally different, yeah.
And I think that's one of the goalposts of life is just like finding out how to serve people, you know. And I'm not saying kiss everybody's ass, but how can you be of service, you know? And for a lot of people, like, you know, my grandpa, he's a postman, and fucking like he loves that shit because like he has a real sense of like, you know, like I'm doing something that's, you know, I'm helping people, and like that's good enough. Like that's a beautiful thing for him. And so if people are going from that angle, then of course like that, and there's nothing more beautiful than that. That's great. You know, that you got out of life, you know, you're finding your nirvana. That's great. But man, yeah, like you said, so many people are just so unhappy and again are just too afraid to ask for more.
Yeah.
Because what if they look silly, you know?
I will say though, I think I've made this point to a lot of people who like find fulfillment in more traditional things, and I think one person said this to me, like just was like, some people don't like, some like a friend of mine said this to me and it really stuck with me. She said, I don't want to work to live, or vice versa. I don't want to live to work. I want to work to live. And I was like, that's interesting. It's a very different way of looking at it than how I look at it. I think I want to live to work. Like, I want to wake up every single day, and the thing that I do that, you know, brings me money, you know, helps me provide for the people that I love, I want that thing to be the thing that gives me purpose. But simultaneously, I totally see how somebody could have the flip side of that. Like, they want to do whatever they can to make money, but their life outside of their job is not what their career. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I think some of the most powerful people in the world, truly, are parents that give up their dreams to watch their kids' dreams come true. Yeah, man. Like, that shit is as selfless as it gets. I think having a child is one of the most like selfless things you can do.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
So storybook life.
Hold on. That's crazy. That's true.
Is that true?
Like, damn. Yeah, that's crazy. My mom like talks to me about it a lot. But we just talk sometimes, and she was saying she always brings up this idea she wanted to be a news anchor really bad. That was like her whole thing.
Wow. Like,
and fucking like really, really wanted it. And my dad, his whole life, he wanted to be a police officer.
So did mine.
Really?
That's crazy. Yeah.
So my dad was like not stopping at anything to like he wanted that so bad. And because my mom, like, you know, loved him and was having kids, basically, like, she gave up her dream so that he could have that. And so that, like, then, you know, she could raise us to have that shit too. And now that, like, I'm here, like, she's just the biggest, yeah, my mom's pretty fucking sick, dude. My mom's pretty fucking sick, dude. Anyways, that just got me thinking, that whole shit of just, like, yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so, but, like, I don't got shit to give a fucking the youth right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I had a kid, bro, I'd be like, shit, let's figure it out together. Like, I would
Yeah.
strap him on my chest and we would figure it out together. But I have nothing to give a child right now.
Yeah.
As of this moment, no. But yeah, I think so.
I think you'd be a good dad, bro.
You want kids? That's sick. Thanks.
I think you would be, yeah.
I think I will be too, given
Yeah.
that, like, I'm ready for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have a lot of maturing and life experience.
For sure.
That's something I've been blindsided by these past, like, 6 months. Is
Wow.
that, like, I really got some living to do.
That you're 22?
Yeah.
I
But
feel
I've
that.
also become very comfortable with it. Like, where before I'll be like, fuck, bro, like, I want to be sexy right now. I want to have a fucking full face of hair, rah, 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 like, all this stuff. And recently, bro, like, I've just been getting those shower thoughts, and I've just been like, you know what? In due time, bro. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just doing this, you know? Like, so I think that's been helping, too.
Isn't it strange how a little bit of success can take your mind from I need it now to I need to slow down?
Yeah, right?
And you're going just as hard, but the only thing that changes is how people are perceiving it.
The crazy thing is like, there's like 10 years into an overnight success for sure. Everybody says that.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's still an overnight success. Like,
Tipping
everything's
point.
still like, it's just like that. Exactly. The tipping point. And like, that's so crazy because that, when you think of it like that, then it's, I don't know. I'll tell that to everybody who's always just like coming to me on some down shit. They're just like, bro, like, nothing seems to be working, whatever. And I'm just like, bro, like, to your core, you gotta know that, like, when it changes, it's wraps. Like, it changes like that. I'm not saying you're rich overnight, but I'm just saying, like, life is a momentum game, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And the second that, like, you start getting traction on that snow globe, like, again, as long as you don't get in your own way, like, it's a lot easier than to compound it for sure. Things can change like that, especially now.
Yeah.
It's one video.
Yeah, literally, dude. And it's like that one video, even if it doesn't change your financials or even like people watching you,
Mm-hmm.
it can be a video that does nothing that changes the way that you think,
Yeah.
which arguably is the most important thing that anything can do, you know?
Interesting, yeah.
What do you, coming, like, you know, you said you could probably want to do a little bit more, but getting to the Storybook Life area and this era where it's, you know, it is close to the end, what are the peaks and valleys of it? Like, if you had to choose a low point and a high point, what would you think they would be? And then how did you get out of the low point? And then how excited were you at the high point?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I do this.
I think the high point, honestly, was probably like, well, I don't want to identify one high. There's a lot of peaks and valleys through this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But it's just, I'm thinking of a particularly sweet moment and then a particularly
Mhm.
not sweet. The show in like March, I think it was the chapter 3 show. It was just like, it was just such a fire start to the year, bro. It was like we had a song do well in chapter 1. We had a song on chapter 2 that did well. And then we had a song on chapter 3 that was now doing well. And it just felt like I was really like building something finally. You know what I mean? And just everything about where life was at that moment, like that night of that show, just fucking felt like I really killed the show. Afterwards, like just the people, being with my best friends, being with fucking XYZ, like, man, that was dope because it was just like, fuck, I just came out to LA and like, I'm really like, this is so sick. Like, these people believe in me. Like, it was awesome, bro. That night was really cool. There's been a lot of highs since then for sure. So many, like an uncountable amount. But I think a particular low is just with anything, with any endeavor, there's going to be like deserts where things just kind of slow down. And I think mine were very like self-induced deserts to an extent. I think I could have had a lot more momentum. I had a lot of like kind of mental swings last year for sure. Just in being out here and for whatever reason, dude, just definitely getting lost in the sauce, bro. Like of still like just loving this and loving doing this, but man, just like not being able to get out of bed some days. And it's tough when like you're just known as that guy who's like, I don't know, from not an ego place at all, but like, you know, people expect me to like come in and really like brighten things up, you know? And like that was tough for me to
Interesting.
turn on like the camera sometimes and fucking hit this like, you know, ad-lib some crazy choreo to like walk down the street and like fucking do these spins and like ad-lib these little dance moves and shit. Like it's hard to think of those when you're not in the space of wanting to move on that, you know? And so I think somewhere in the middle, bro, like probably around chapter 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8, to be honest, like up until like fairly recently have I like really just fallen in love with the shit again.
Yeah.
And gotten really excited about it. But yeah, dude, I think to get out of it, I think everything just goes back to not being so hard on yourself, but also like actively moving forward. A lot of times people mistake not being so hard on yourself for like making excuses for yourself, and you have to learn, you have to know where to like be able to draw that line, you know? But yeah, I think it just came from not being so hard on myself in the sense of like sitting down to make music, being like, all right, bro, this doesn't have to explode. I love making music, and that's why I started this whole thing. Like, I'm always saying it, but just gardening for like the sake of you love to garden, not because you want to see how big the tree's gonna grow, you know, and not like checking back on it all the time, not like looking back on it every day to see and checking the view count and whatever. Just, you know, really tapping into what made it, making music to show my friends, because that's cool as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing like when I fucking like show something and like Miles is just fucking like the rash in his head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, like fucking I like pull up on Gabe and he's like listening to it like when I'm not there or some shit, you know? And it's like somebody's really fucking with, like, there's nothing like that, dude. And that is the sustainable dopamine, you know? That's the shit that like is the long lasting stuff, like that, the healthy like sources of it. But like this shit, it's dirty, bro. It's just dirty. Like getting fucking validation through that is so dirty because it's so fickle and it's so
fleeting,
bipolar, man. Yeah, it's so bipolar in terms of the traction itself, but also like the stance of like the traction, if that makes sense. Like bro, you could hit some of the, I mean, I thank God, but you have some of these people, they put up a video, bro, and it's like a beautiful woman, right? Her nose is just a little big, maybe. And they just eat, you know, the video goes viral. They just eat her alive, bro. This like poor woman, right?
These broken
thousands,
people.
Yeah, these broken people, bro. Thousands and thousands of comments. And now that person will never be able to live the same, bro. Like ever again, off of one video, ever again. They'll probably, I mean, not they'll probably get a fucking nose job, but like, I guarantee you that will stick with them in a way that's really hard to undo, bro. Like really, really tough to undo. So I've been grateful to not like hit those pockets, really. But yeah, man, the internet is just such a tumultuous fucking place.
It's incredibly hard to live in a digital world but assign no value to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody told me once, because I used to be a little fucking warrior.
Little internet troll?
Yeah,
So did I.
bro. Not necessarily a troll.
I was.
Yeah. Damn.
For sure.
Damn.
When I was like 13, 14,
Going
bro.
crazy. You're crazy.
Sure.
Damn, boy. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, I hated myself too. That's why I did it.
Damn.
That's why I did that shit.
What the fuck? Where was I going with that?
My bad.
No, you're good. Yeah, people would hate, and then I would be jumping back on them like, fucking look at you, bro, like whatever. And
with your 10 followers.
Yeah. What a terrible fucking like energy to operate in. But one time I hit somebody with that, and I don't know what it was, bro. I was just like, what gives you the right, or just some corny fucking younger me shit. And he literally just responded with like, he's like, it's a court of public opinion, bro. And I was just like, damn. Word. Like, yeah, it is. Like and in a sense, like you're the one taking that risk. It is a risk, you know? It's a very high risk, high reward situation to put yourself out there like that. But I don't think he was wrong. It's just, and no, I mean, hating's never right. You know what I mean? But like to get mad at the hate, you have to just understand, like, it's just a fucking waste of energy to like give any energy to it, to like spend time to hate it, whatever, because it's the court of public opinion. It's just like, hey guys, like, you think this is good? Like, let me know. Like, fucking, and that's just a risky run. You know what I mean? But goddamn, bro, I'm almost like completely off of like skimming through my comments. I used to go through everyone and like try to respond and shit, and like the bigger the shit gets, the more like it fucks me up. The more negative shit gets, the bigger it gets. I think that's just a natural evolution. You're not popping till like you have haters, but Bro, I used to have no haters. Like the first couple times shit like took off, it was nothing but love, and people just get sick of seeing you, bro. But I don't know. I think Steve Martin has like this fire ass quote. People always like run up to him and it's just like, yo, how do I get on? Like wanting that like one fix, you know what I mean? Of just like the one, like, here's what I did that really, you know, like here's the tipping point thing. And he says that like his answer is always, I'll just like look at him and just be like, you have to just be undeniable. Like you have to be undeniable. That's the only surefire way to be like insanely successful. You know what I mean? And so I think that just feeds into it a little bit much. I'm just like so on people's feed all the time that it's just undeniable. You know what I mean? Whether they like it or not, shit, the algorithm's still showing it to you, bro. So people must want to see it, you know?
Isn't it sad that it can be the public court of opinion, and then people take that and they choose to be negative in it?
Yeah.
Like, you can just as easily in the court of public opinion be a incredibly positive person and choose to lift people up. Like, it's a choice.
Of course, or at the very least be constructive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is strange. But it's not though. Because again,
it's
like,
human nature.
Bro, we are in such a fucking fearful like ass society. No. I can't believe it. God damn it.
Got him.
But we
Was
damn
Mario
it. I
Sosa?
wanted that so bad. That was awesome.
That was crazy. He fell asleep.
But we just live in such a fear like dominated society that that yes, it's like how crazy, but at the same time it's like common sense, you know?
Yeah.
Fear society, fearful comment section, fearful people, like fucking it's, you know, it's human nature to like give into it almost.
I find that like the further and further I get in the music industry too, it's so strange that like the human nature is often, and maybe this is just like tribalist or bias or whatever it is, but it's like human nature is to take advantage of people. Isn't that weird?
It's almost like
isn't that weird?
It's taking advantage of people, but it's also just looking out for yourself. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying those people are just trying to involve their best interests. You know what I mean? And whether those are selfishly, whatever. But it's like a survival thing. You know, you have to look out for yourself before you look out for anybody else. And sometimes people take that to a fault. But
like that showing your story last night that you were talking about. Like,
say that one more time.
Like that stuff on your story last night that you were talking about.
Yeah,
people like
paying for shows. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and people are just that's weird. Some people think they're doing a real justice in like allowing like artists who don't have traction to like perform in front of people. It's so cool.
Do you think they think they're doing it justice, or are they convincing themselves they are, and in the back of their mind they know that they're taking advantage of people?
Like that dude in San Francisco.
Like
the fucking
High Tolerance Entertainment?
Even though with the homeless people. Oh shit.
Oh.
You just fucking I'm like
I just aired out High Tolerance Entertainment.
That was
crazy.
I know nothing.
It's just like a promoter that makes you pay for opening spots.
Yeah,
and puts
bro,
19 openers on every bill.
Yeah, that's
and
what
it's just
I'm
like
saying.
It's a profit machine. It's weird.
Man, I hate that bullshit.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, dude, it's all bad. It's all like fearful as fuck. So I don't know. Something I've been trying to focus on recently is just like something I've been trying to focus on recently is consuming like more enriching media, because at this point like media is inevitable. You have to consume it.
To kind of circle back to what you're talking about with Instagram comments and everything, like, what do you think? Oh, this is like a two-parter right here.
Yeah.
How do you interject that into your own content? And then what do you think people are getting wrong with that? Like, or I guess a more of a generalized question. What do you think people are getting, like, if you look at most independent artists, what do you think is the biggest mistake they're making when they're promoting their music online?
Being too rigid, like not being malleable, not being willing to pivot to things and react to things. The first time that I ever had a song that like really took off, like I had some little like moments of things that boiled up from just being authentically myself, which is another thing that's very important. But like the first couple of videos I did that ever did well were me just spazzing off of being how stoked I was off like a song, being like, yo, like I just fucking made this, like everybody's gotta listen to it, this shit is so fucking insane. And that's what carried it through initially. But by the time that it came around, I was like, yo, I really want like a song that's like, you know, I want like 1 million streams. Like I really want something that's gonna like take off, so to speak, or whatever. And again, not that in the grand scheme of things that's however much, but whatever. That's what I wanted really bad. And I put up a snippet of this song. I was just doing shit in my bedroom, just recording stuff in my bedroom. Put up a snippet, just rapping the song of the part that I thought was going to sell the most. And I put it up, and I started realizing that, like, everybody in this comment section was just like, bro, you sound like Adam Sandler. Like, this sounds like Bobby Boucher. This sounds like the fucking Water Boy. And, like, at first I was like, no, bro, like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, here I am. I've been grinding for so long of trying to, like, fit into this sound, you know what I mean? And people are just like, bro, you sound like fucking whatever. But rather than being rigid, you know, and taking that as, like, fuck, like, people misunderstand me and shying away from it, you know what I mean? I leaned into it, like, as much as possible. I pivoted. I was malleable. And so I said, fuck it. Yeah, this is Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's rapping on it. Like, he's doing the whole shit. And so that was kind of the first marketing ploy about just like, watch this. I'm going to lean into it, you know, and it's going to take off. And then that video did end up taking off. And then even more so from there, there was this confusion of if it was him or whatever. And I'm not saying that you should just give into whatever marketing scheme. Definitely keep integrity to, like, building your brand image. That's very important. You don't want to just sell out for whatever. But at the moment, it was just like, this feels right to lean into. So then for all the promo for that song, I dressed up as the Water Boy with, like, a vest and like a fucking flannel, and we did shit with, like, the big Gatorade jugs, and we recreated scenes out of different Adam Sandler movies. So we did like a Happy Gilmore shit where I'm, like, golfing with the hockey stick and I have, like, a hocky jersey on and shit like that, and just, like, recreating those, and that was our whole kind of campaign for that. But all of that sex, whoa, chill, boy. All that success.
Keep looking at you.
Yo, I got lost in your eyes.
Stop it, D.
But yeah, all that success is, like, to be attributed to fucking like, just I'm just kidding. To just being willing to, like, pivot, to be malleable, to not be so tied to something. And I've seen that with other people where I think they could really lean into stuff, but they just take the time to be offended, you know, or just whatever. And it's just all of this shit. And I made the mistake too that, like, when that took off, I was like, cool, I'm on, like, it's over. I finally did it. But it's also just understanding and being okay and truly, like, accepting of the fact that this whole thing is, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to be clever for your entire life.
100%,
this whole thing is clever little wins, like, however you can get them at every interval. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what builds the snowball, is the compilation of all those little clever wins. But if I mean, it's strenuous, bro. It's a long process of being clever over and over and reminding people that you exist, especially now in this space. So
and not being corny while doing it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Again, like, I think people should be more focused on doing things from a place of integrity than worrying about being corny, because it'll always be corny to somebody.
For sure.
So, like, don't view things on a bias of, is it corny?
Yeah.
Don't even, like, try to, like, eliminate that word, I would say. Just try to view it of, like, is this authentically me? And if it is, then fire. And do that forever.
It's so strange too, because, like, everything you put out is like a hand that molds this ball of clay, and that ball of clay, like, is your image and how people think of you. And it's like every video, like, presses something into that or pulls a part out of it. But it's like, we are all, like, online especially, these, like, and this is for better or for worse, because you can manipulate people this way, I think, which is a lot of people doing is really weird. But, like, we're all like these balls of clay, and it's like each thing you put out, each song, each video, whatever, you're morphing that into, like, whatever people's perceived image of you is. And it's like, I don't know how careful you can be about, like, I want to be seen this way. I'm going to be so intentional to be seen this way.
I'm so happy you just said that.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's just like, I don't know how much you can control it. Like, I think at a certain point you have to lean into the things that people perceive about you and take them as you will.
Sure.
And then, you know, act accordingly.
Right.
But it's like, you can't really, like if I say, like, I want you to think that I am a, you know, mid-century modern like Viking character, right?
Sure.
And I put all these videos to kind of lead in that direction, right? If you think I'm a vampire, like, I should lean into the vampire stuff. I know that's a very silly example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. You're saying you think you should lean into the vampire stuff?
I think a lot of times, yeah. Like, I don't necessarily think, like, if you were trying to create an image as an artist, and we all do that, I don't know if you are the one who dictates that image all the time. I think you sometimes have to figure out what it is that people see you as, and then either lean into it and put more of yourself into it, or find a way to combine the two that, you know, you're creating, like, a portrayal of yourself that's representative of your character, but is simultaneously something that, like, people believe.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like maybe it comes from maybe a place of just harboring, like, a self-awareness.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really have a self-awareness. I think like maybe by fully giving in to like being the vampire in that analogy, I think there's a lot of people who do that and just make it their thing, and then they become the guy for that. They become the vampire guy.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to escape that.
Yeah.
Like it's all of a sudden like nothing goes unless you do that, you know, or from a sonic standpoint, people will put into that for a song, you know, and then they become that song guy. Nobody's remembering the name, but all they want to hear is that song made in 50 different like iterations. Totally. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I don't know. I think it's almost just a gut thing of just feeling out, you know, like what's appropriate. But people, I don't think ever like sacrifice your integrity if you're gonna do something that's like gonna come across and it's just definitely not you, because like that's just how you get to, you can't sustain that, you know. It's gonna lead you to burnout for sure. You have to do something that but there is something to be said about like hyperbolizing a character of yourself for sure. People want to see something that's larger than life, you know. That they want to believe in something, they want to be a part of something that's bigger than them, and a lot of the time that falls on the shoulders of people to kind of design that. But definitely build on top of your foundation already, because like I think that'll lead to the most easiest kind of fulfillment of that over time.
I think the biggest conflict comes in finding the balance between like building yourself up to be larger than life, but simultaneously being yourself. Yeah. Because I think like building yourself up to, I think, like be a person that someone can look up to, be a person that someone can say like, you know, see themselves in, you know. A lot of that can come just through telling your story authentically.
Can I say this really quick? I'm so sorry. I would just say on the vampire analogy, always try the vampire shit. Yeah. If you're the Viking shit, dress up as the vampire for like a week and just see how it feels. But don't feel pressure to do that forever. Yeah. You can always go back to the Viking shit. It'll never be worse than it was before when you were a Viking. But just fucking see if the vampire shit is fly. And if it is, and truly it is,
run with it,
rock with it. Cool, because you never know. Don't be closed off to that shit. But yeah, I'm so sorry. That's because I was trying to figure out like how to, anyways.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, but it's this weird balance.
Nice.
Oh, I was like, there's no way. It's like this weird balance, bro. But yeah, it's very fickle, and like people's image of you is so like it's. You can alter it, but at the end of the day, they're going to think whatever they're going to think. So I think what you're saying, I'm putting out like everything that you love first and foremost is the baseline 100% most important thing no matter what.
Yeah, that just goes back to even the music, just putting out shit that you fuck with, because then nobody can tell you anything about it, dude. Whatever they say is then subjective to you and your reality. Yeah. You know, but if you're putting out shit that you're half on, that means that you're subjective on your opinion, which means that it'll be easily influenced by other people for sure.
100%. On the more like industry side of things, when you moved to, because I'm definitely projecting here, but I'd be interested to see if you felt the same way. Yeah. When you moved to, because you're somebody who obviously navigates very well, understands the music marketing world very well, understands how to build a brand.
Thanks.
Of course, yeah. But like when you moved here, you might have understood those things, but do you feel like you understood the industry side, or did you get slapped by the LA music industry like lesson in the same way that I did? I feel like when I moved here, where like I thought I understood the music industry, and then I moved to LA. And then how was like kind of navigating that world been as you've like signed a deal and are putting out music so often? Like how have you navigated that world, and what have the shortcomings been, and like how would you like what advice would you give people? That just hit me
so crazy just now when you just said like signing a deal. That's crazy. Yeah. That was just so like nonchalant, and I was gonna respond to it so nonchalantly, and that's so crazy.
Congrats,
that's
it's fucking
so
awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, he signed a deal.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, wow. What the fuck are we doing here, dude? That's so insane. Yeah. I think like I spent like a lot of time, a lot of like the influences I had like music wise, like growing up, all kind of like preach this idea of like educating yourself and like, you know what I mean, like really just like making sure that you know the means of the operation. So I feel like I spent a good amount of time like figuring out about the music industry before I got out here. And then so when I did, I don't know if I was necessarily like jarred by anything. I think the sheer amount of like talented people can be overwhelming, and like realizing that like, you know, coming from being a big fish in a small pond, just realizing like how many great people there are, and like how really fucking cool they are too. But like I feel like I spent a lot of time like really educating myself on it, and like making sure that like I understood at least the most that I could how these things work. The craziest shit though for me, Oh, damn. Fuck it, because I'm a man of the people for real.
Yeah.
Something that people don't get that like really blindsided me. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. It's okay. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, dude. All like every post from like all these curators, they're paid for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Everything. Like fucking. It almost
everything.
Every fucking video you see of somebody who's like music like taste that you trust, they're being paid to tell you that like they enjoy that song by the label. By all these labels, every single one of them, every single countdown list, every single here's a new artist you should hear, every single rah. It's not authentic, dude. It's all coming from like the same shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's crazy because it's illegal to have a pay to play Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, bro, it still fucking exists. And on a physical level, that should still exist. That's literally a pay to play like system. That's crazy. You're taking these people who are like trusted to be like the voice of the people and like the voice of communities and stripping it away for like monetary gain. And you can't hate on like the curators, I don't know necessarily, because like they're finding a way to make a living like from their platform. You know what I mean? And I don't know the best way to necessarily do that, but just so sleazy that like the label system looks to infiltrate whatever they can. Here's this beautiful like DIY system that blossomed. All these curators are being trusted for this because they're fire. They're fire. They have great taste in music and they're great taste makers. And then here comes this like system that's just like corrupted everything since the jump of it. And finally there's this little pocket of this like, yo, like here's all the DIY, the indie people, and like we're all doing it, whatever. And here comes the fucking big bad wolf again, dude, just to, you know, fucking sprinkle in that like toxicity of just like, okay, but we're gonna have some influence on this. Like, even though we can't touch it all the way, we got soldiers in there, we got spies playing for us. Like, it just feels gross, bro.
And some of these labels that have a particular lack of knowledge in the marketing department put an entire marketing budget and stuff like that.
Like 100% of a marketing budget.
Yeah.
Not like they're putting like dude, 100%. It's so insane. And people have this idea that like the label's gonna help. And granted, like the reason I was and just to talk on it for a second, because I was like as independent as you can get. I had no intention of needing to sign with
you
a
never
label.
wanted to?
No, I mean in my head I just didn't need to. I always wanted to like play that game though, kind of.
Yeah, it's fun.
But in my head it was just like, yo, like just because I didn't know, you know what I mean? I was like, I want to be on the other side just to know what both sides look like. But I knew that I was going to do it on my terms. And so we did. We met with like 45, 50 different people.
Wow.
Of not just labels, but publishing, distribution, like all these different, you know, routes that we could take. And 45 was the first people to really just be like, okay, bet, we can do that. We just want to rock out with you. We just want to make music. And so in that sense, it's really like a partnership, you know what I mean? A collaboration.
It's insane that that's not the norm. It's insane that partnership is not the norm.
Right. But yeah, not to lose that thought, keep that shit for sure, because that is insane. But yeah, these people come in and they think the label's going to do everything different, and some people really can and they can help out. And 45 really convinced me, you know, that they were going to approach this from a unique like artist building perspective. But people don't realize that they're just, bro, they don't have any fucking clue either, bro. Yeah. They're like 900 years old with lots of money, just throwing it at whoever the kids, the independent people who are curating it in the first place that they're trying to corrupt, are telling them is fire. The youth is the one pushing it forward, not the fucking 40-year-old execs. They're just like listening to other people. So they come in with these massive budgets. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And because it wasn't stipulated in the artist contract, they can spend whatever on whatever, whenever, without telling whoever. It's so insane. Yeah. And so these people like get this advance up front. They think they're going to recoup, but the label's like, oh, well, we spent $400,000 on this to make this song as big. And we did it behind your back. And we spent 10. Remember that release party? That was 10 bands. And then what's the other 90% on? Oh, like it was marketing.
Where's the marketing?
What marketing? Oh, well, we don't even have to tell you, first of all, because that wasn't like, you know.
What?
Yeah. Bro, like
I didn't know that.
Most people don't even take the time to look into it, bro. Like
I knew that, but I didn't know
they're not even asking the questions. To be honest, I don't want to speak on that for sure.
Okay.
But I know that like going into it, I made it 100% that like any dollar, or a lot of the times what happens is they'll sneak in that they don't have to ask you if it's under a certain dollar amount. And so what happened initially with the first contract was like, we're gonna tell you if we spend over $1,000, but we can have 500 transactions of $250, and we don't need to say anything.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so
it's
it was
your
like,
money.
yeah, so it was like, whoa, bro, like if we're spending $1, like I want to know all this stuff. But anyways, the original fucking plot of this whole thing is that the other 90%, it's like, yo, marketing. What kind of marketing? Oh, like we just paid influencers to make videos to the song and sync these artist projects, dude. Like sync it, bro. And the problem with that, I'm sorry, I'm wild.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
But the problem the problem with that is like you can add gas onto a fire that's already burning. But if you just go burn fucking like gas on wooden logs, like nothing's gonna happen. There has to be a spark there, and that spark comes from the kids, it comes from the youth, it comes from the people that are on those apps. And the number one thing that those people have at their disposal to decide what they fuck with and what they don't is this fucking schnauzer to like pinpoint when they're being sold to. They hate it. They can't stand being sold to. Nobody wants to be. Nobody wants to be advertised to. And these people make these like really like dystopian ass like worlds around these artists by just paying these people who aren't genuinely digging the song to make these videos. And whether that's up front or not, people will sniff it out every single time. Whether they're inherently coming out and being like, yo, like you got paid to do this, or just something in their subconscious is like, you know what, I'm not really digging this like that. Yeah. And so like, yeah, I would be so curious to see the numbers, but I mean, they've got to just be so unsuccessful with that, with just throwing money at shit.
There's such a wild age discrepancy in these things too. Like I'd be so curious because like, dude, when I'm scrolling on TikTok, I know within at the very, 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 very most, like 2 to 3 seconds if something's an ad. Yeah. There is absolutely zero way to hide it. We, like our generation of people, like kids in their 20s, like first off, if you're in music, that's who you're trying to sell to. I don't give a shit what kind of music you make. That's your demographic, and then you're dumb if you're not. Yeah. But simultaneously, that is the most difficult generation to push ads to. Yeah, like right. We don't want to see ads because we have 980 content creators that we follow that are feeding us shit that we like. Right. Why the fuck would we sit through an ad?
Right. And that's been something that we had to again do, just being willing to be malleable to reconsider everything every single day. Like that was dramatic, but like, you know, to be able to look at something and be like, okay, why isn't this working? Yeah. Is there a reason outside of the music that this couldn't be working? I shot a video the other day that I put up that fucking flopped, bro. And I thought it was because I blurred out a license plate and I thought I was like blurring out somebody's fucking like junk or something. Yeah. I literally just reposted it and it took off. Like fucking, sometimes so it's weird. As simple as that. Just not being so tied to like, fuck this algorithm, it hates me. Yeah. I was just like, nah, let's try it again. Yeah. And it, like fucking just like that. But again, just being malleable. And I think something that was a big problem is that, I don't even know. Yeah, I think so. Maybe is that things felt too polished, too produced on my stuff for a while. Wow. And people were just like, yo, like they didn't believe that it was just me and Live 2 behind it. You know, that it was like a really homegrown thing. And what it came down to, weirdly enough,
how'd you fix it,
dude? We were using like I think a font that like it's so simple. But like I just didn't use TikTok's like native font, like their default font, and I used a font that I thought looked really cool. But that came with this like inherent quality of like you knew the video wasn't made on TikTok. You knew that like the video wasn't made specifically natively for the platform, and that came with this feeling of it being inauthentic. It was like a third party thing. It was like, oh, this doesn't belong here. Like, you know, this is like I'm being sold to. This is an artist coming on TikTok to be like, hey, fucking, you know, listen to this, whatever. So we literally just changed it to like the default text, and shit has been cooking like way better since then for sure.
Bro, yeah. The human brain is so crazy.
Yeah, so strange.
I don't know if we're like meant to like have this level of control
Absolutely
over
not.
Like
absolutely not, dude. No, we weren't meant to have 50 years ago tech, dude. Like fucking much less any of this shit.
That's insane, bro. And that's the thing that like that's why I feel you so much of the malleability shit, because I have fallen into that trap a million times, bro. Like I've fallen into the trap of being like, you know, like these feel good and I think people like them, so I'm gonna keep doing them, and like I'm not gonna change it. It's like no one likes your shit, bro. And like I'm not saying that to be a dick, of course. Like I'm not saying it's you, obviously, but I'm saying like No one likes anybody's shit, bro.
Right.
The amount of people in the world that have like fans, like real fans, is like so low, dude. And if they are your fans, you can pivot on a dime and they'll follow you.
Right.
Your fans are not the people you're gonna lose.
Right. You're just worried about the people that you won't gain necessarily.
Yes, exactly.
In like, again, just what if I switch it and it's dumber than it was like before? And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, stop. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You have nothing to lose. Like, you have nothing to lose, bro.
Yeah.
Like, people are just so precious with it. It's crazy. And that's the same thing of like people that just, it's like, they don't have any music out. It's like, oh, I'm just waiting on it. You know what I mean? Or like whatever. There's something to be said about waiting till the music's right. There's something to be said about waiting to perform until you feel like you have music that's worthy of performing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, bro, we met this busker out in Tempe the other day, and he came up to us. He was trying to tell us that he'd been working on a song for like 5 years or something insane like that. Yeah, and it's just like, bro, like, you're just lazy as fuck. Like, there's no way. There's no shot in dick. Yeah, I don't know.
What Dream Theater shit is he making?
Yeah, so insane. It's like a 15-hour long song. Sounds so crazy.
He's making like an opera. Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, we're going to this song for 5 years. That's insane.
Dude. But yeah, just so nuts.
But it's so easy to get stuck in that, dude. Like, I think I've done that so many times, and like I've never been afraid to like throw anything out. Like, I throw shit at the wall all the time, but I have run into this voice in the back of my head that's like, I think there's potential in this style. Maybe you shouldn't change it. Which I suppose there's also something to be said about, like the Fantano example I was saying earlier. There's something to be said about that, but also like to a certain point, like TikTok is so weird in that manner. Like the smallest, tiniest, most minuscule details ever can make all the difference. One thing when Clayton told me one time, and I was like, that is so. Like, he told me this kid's a wizard, but like one time he like called me after I posted a video, and he was like, "Yo, like, your face isn't centered." And I never like stopped and thought about that. But he was all like, you gotta think, people are looking at their phone with their eyes like this. They're scrolling. If their eyes don't match to another set of eyes, they're not connecting.
Yeah.
If their eyes match to a tree, or like I was looking at this artist today, and he's posting a bunch of covers, and I was talking about some stuff, but he was posting a bunch of covers, and one thing that I think was so wrong with his covers, he's an incredible musician, such a good voice, but like his covers, just the way they were framed, he just was like in the like almost like the lower left quadrant of like the shot, and I'm just like, dude, people are scrolling and they're seeing your living room, like they're not seeing you, and it's things that are so easy, and like and that goes back to the 3% difference, you know, like you can tweak one thing and it can change everything.
Yeah. And again, just the clever wins of just being down to try different shit, and you'd be surprised, bro, like what those little things are. Like, some people, I think, you know, view that line of thought and it's like, oh, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy to like be thinking like that, to make videos based on shit like that. And it's like, to a certain extent, I don't think you want to drive, you know, you want to maintain some artistic integrity of keeping the video how you want, you know, and like that. But yeah, man, some people are just like, shit like that is true, you know, for sure. Like, just of locking with another pair of eyes, of, you know, trying to keep videos relatively bright because those are engaging, trying to have that something happen within those first couple seconds, you know, and be willing to cut off maybe, you know, that 4 seconds, 2 off the beginning and 2 off the end, that really just make the video a smash now. Like,
yeah. It's like that specific. It's like that's that science.
It's pouring.
Oh, it is, yeah. Damn, I didn't realize that.
It's raining so crazy.
Last thing I want to ask you.
Yes.
Closing question. If you had one message that you could spread through your music as you move out of this chapter of your releasing into the next one, even if you're still here, if you had one message that you could spread through your music to the people who listen, what would that message be?
I think just that, like, that idea of like just don't be afraid to ask for it. Just don't be afraid to go after it, dude. Because there's quite literally no other purpose like on this planet, dude. Like of it'll always catch up with you. Like making the easy choice now, like there will always be a counterbalance in the world. And if that comes in the form of, whoa, what did you make that face for? Because there was a bird or something?
What?
I said that. I started making, like, right when I said that, you were like, you like went to say something. And now he's looking up in the air.
Oh.
Like, what are you
I don't
looking
think
at,
it was.
Gabe?
No, there's like a thing moving. I thought it was a bird up there, but it's not.
Damn. All right.
Crazy.
But yeah, I think just not being afraid to ask for it, bro. Too many times people just underestimate their own value in this life, and anybody can do anything, dude. And fucking, I put so many hours into this, but there's no reason why I should be doing this the way that I am, like at the level that I am. And I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful, and I'm sure at some piece, some interval, there's like some luck involved in that. But bro, I don't know, for what it's worth, I know a lot of it just came because I just wasn't too scared to fucking ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ask the universe for it.
Yeah, dude.
Because you'll never know unless you ask.
Yeah, and the more you talk to it, the more like you speak that language, and the more that like you go back and forth, and you get good at like identifying those omens, and you just get better at interacting with it. And it's like you can start like almost getting good at it, like almost getting good at manifesting,
Yeah.
like which is a trip, but
It's
like
practice.
Yeah, you just become in tandem with this thing. And yeah, too many people just turn a blind eye to it because, again, I don't know why, bro. They don't think that they have it, and it's so strange to me.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something, you know. Just do it. Just start doing it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Pertinence.
Dante, ATBD.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, dude.
Thank you very much for doing
This
this.
has been really cool. This
yeah.
has been something that like fucking. I mean, I fairly recently hit you up. I appreciate you getting me in so quick, but dude, just I mean, from afar, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, there's somebody who is so just not only passionate, but just so like blindly passionate, and it's so inspiring, dude. Like, you are just so like all about your shit all the time, and the way that you conduct this is really cool, and you prepare like to come into it, the lights, the setup, like all of it, dude. It's really cool. I admire the fuck out of you, dude.
Thank you,
for
bro.
having me here. Yeah,
and ditto, man. Just the way you look at the world, I love it. Like, there's an energy that radiates in every single room you're in, and I aspire to be that person. So
cheers, dude. Thank you.
I love you,
Thank
man.
you. Ciao, motherfuckers. That's it.
Tell them where they can stream you, find you, follow you.
Around the PRT, the PRTY, put the square pertinence. That's PRTINENC. But the homies just call me Pert. I would say look up Pertinence on any platform. Hopefully it'll pop up by the end. If not, goddamn, that's embarrassing, and we have some work to do. But damn, if you can get through the first 5 letters, you should be straight. That's that.
Love you, bro.
Man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dante.
Alrighty, music matters.